All right. UBL. Dusk PRs. I think I'm doing some elaborate intro. This is all it is.
Pandemic hit, and then I got it. Then that wasn't the case anymore.
A great
similar
point.
case for me.
Bring up a great point.
And then there's just days where I forget to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Well, we're here with Winda, Rat, and Gambit, and myself, the GOAT,
Hello.
Smarmoo,
Hello.
James, Canner.
I was like waiting for Rat, and then Rat was waiting for me, and then we just decided to go at the same time.
Yeah.
Bottoms, the lot of you.
Yeah. Did I pin the Dusk thing?
I don't
Great
think so, but it's not
No.
that far up.
Hold on.
But it's not that far up.
Hold
Yeah.
on. There we go. It's pinned now too. Okay. All right. So there were 2 divisions. 8 coaches each. We're here for the one that's actually going to cause me physical pain. I'm so excited. So excited to have to deal with this. This is
The one that you're in.
Yeah.
I'm so
right
excited.
On the bright side, you get to talk about your team at the end.
You know what? You know what I forgot to do? Make a tier list.
Oh.
I knew I was forgetting something. I knew it.
Oh. This shouldn't take that long.
No. Hold on. I'm just gonna find all Pokemon ever, and we're gonna do mascots from that. Just gonna do that. Just do that. That's what I've done.
This feels like more effort.
Yeah,
It feels like
We're
more
gonna have
effort.
to hunt. We're going to have to hunt down every specific
No.
Pokemon now.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
This
if
feels like
it's in-
more
if it's
effort.
in-
You can just
Well,
copy
hopefully
and
it's
paste
ordered.
images.
Yeah. It's ordered by
like
gens.
the
It's not like
second
that
team.
hard. It's not that hard.
The second team doesn't have a
Yeah, but
Pokemon in
it's
its name.
so much scrolling.
Pokemon in its name. All right.
It's
What
so much.
what Pokemon looks most like a Brad? Gmax Meowth.
Yeah, that works.
I was gonna say Dartrix.
Ooh, that works even better. I like Dartrix more, even if I have to scroll down more. I like Dartrix more.
He just
Dartrix
looks
does
like
look
a
like it's-
rich white boy.
Yeah, named Brad Roberts.
True.
Hey.
Fucking hate the name.
What are the other mascots? Oh yeah, there's Indeedee.
There's Feraligatr.
Hold on. I have to
Dartrix.
hold on. I'm not that fast. There's they have every alchemy form on here. It's gonna take me a minute.
Oh my god.
I told you it's a lot of scrolling.
It's not even scrolling, it's just finding the right icon in a sea of alchemy. Okay, and then the other one, so
The world's worst
there's
version of Where's Waldo.
yeah,
Gator.
true. There's what even I don't
There's
even
Gator.
for alligator. Yeah, for alligator. That one's easy. That one's right at the top.
There's a Finion.
Making me scroll down to
What
it's actually
now?
not that far.
A Finion.
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 Yeah,
It's
Finion.
it's an evolution. You have to treat it with respect. Finion.
Oh, the
Exactly.
fuck I don't.
Well, okay, that's fair. So there's Finion. That's
Oh, by
That's
the way,
ins-
can I swear on your channel? That's a
yeah. I don't,
that's a question I should ask.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care.
Okay.
This is the UBLVGC channel. It's not like we're ever getting monetized anyways.
I was, but you were quite PG in the couple videos I watched you did, you know.
It's actually quite hard to get monetized on.
Yeah, we would have to get to like thousands. That's never happening.
Yeah.
It's never happening for a niche draft league. I'm just gonna keep the tier with all the logos called new. So I don't care. Okay, so there's Feraligatr, Dartrix, Finion,
Scissor.
Indeedee, Skizzers. I'm gonna cut myself on some Skizzers.
Please don't.
Don't do that. That's not healthy.
5. Yeah.
Ju-
You know what else isn't healthy?
Just don't run with them.
Cotton
There's a lot
candy.
that's not healthy. Carbon monoxide, for example.
Like cotton candy. This is the first gonna be like 10 minutes of the video. Alright, so we're only at 5. That's so after that, I literally could check. I don't know why I'm
There's Talonflame.
Talonflame and Swampert. That's the one that's missing. Not Even though, okay, I'm not gonna put Swampert though, because nobody's team thinks, yeah, that's Swampert. Everyone thinks
think
Regigigas. Yeah. I don't know why it's called the Salty Swamperts, but it's a Regigigas holding a gun. Don't really understand that. Truthfully, I've never understood
The element
that.
of surprise, Canner.
What do you know about the element of surprise?
Absolutely nothing.
Actually,
the
what do
fact that you had
half
to
of
change
you?
your team name.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I got pretty surprised by him during the draft.
Yeah. Actually, what do half of you know about elements of surprise? I literally drafted your team.
Surprise.
I mean,
Rat
oops.
stole my shit.
I mean, what? I would never draft someone's team for them. That's silly.
Technically,
All
you
right.
didn't draft anyone's team.
True. I was just a crucial part in like 5
You
different
created the
drafts.
blueprint.
5 out of 16. I was at least a consultant on. Which is ridiculous, by the way. It's ridiculous.
Are you counting me in that?
No, I am not. I'm not counting you.
Oh my god.
I'm not counting you. I'm not counting Air, who I talked about a little bit. It's
Are you
just
counting-
Eris, me, Gambit, Rat, 4. What's the 5th one? Gig? Did I say Gig?
No,
No, not yet.
No, I was a consultant with Gig for a little bit.
which was
I will say there was a point where you could tell where I stopped. If you were watching the draft live.
The moment you Iron
The
leave
second
on that
the
draft,
No, oh no, that was me where I was like, Iron Leaves is fine. It's the second when he drafted Pachirisu, I'm like, okay, I'm not helping anymore. all right, let's get.
That's when
all
Gig
right.
started consulting Rat.
Okay,
What a
to
guy.
be fair, Gig consulted me after the draft, I swear.
Okay, all right, folks. So here we have it. First team, the Fairfax River Alligators, coached by Biggie. He has got Dragapult, Metagross, Manchow, Electabuzz, Florges, Weirdeer, Lurantis, Arcanine, Iron Jugulus, Lapras, and Munchlax. I want to let you guys have a go first with this one because I was, involved in the process of team building, so I feel like I shouldn't give my thoughts immediately. So, what do you guys think? What immediately jumps out? Thoughts, concerns?
Well, it's got a Florges on it, so it's easily an S tier team.
Bro.
Well, I mean,
Florges might go. Honest, so real talk, Florges actually is better on this team than normal, because of Symbiosis. Symbiosis with Iron Jugulus is really nice. You boost its energy, your Iron Jugulus, and then Florges gives the item that it's holding to the Iron Jugulus, and it just becomes beastly. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Oh.
So there's a really funny interaction you can do with that because Iron Jugulus is a fake out Pokemon that's naturally a dark type. That'll always be faster. You go for booster energy, rocking Covert Cloak Florges, just because generally that's like not bad to have on Florges, and then it passes Covert Cloak to Jugulus, so you always get Tailwind up.
That's kind of fire.
Yes.
I know it is. I didn't think about that when I was drafting it. I was just like, Florges is a good fairy type. That's super bulky. So it's like, well, super specially bulky.
But I mean, yeah, it means that you have Jugulus. Even without Florges, Jugulus is just a really solid Tailwind setter.
But it's also like deceptively strong. Like everyone can kind of conceptualizes it as a Tailwind setter, but it has Meteor Beam now. So it's like, this thing is much more than just a Tailwind setter. Like it's a sweeper on its
Yeah,
own.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Symbiosis Power Herb, let's go.
Yeah, you could do that, but
Yeah.
it's terrible.
Power.
It makes I wouldn't ever tell anyone to run that. Ever. Because then your entire team becomes a gimmick and you can't bring Florges to any game that you don't bring Jugulus. Which is terrible.
Counterpoint. If neither of them have an item, they can't be hit by Poltergeist.
True.
Ah, yes. Let me hit that dark type with Poltergeist. You're right, my bad.
Yeah.
My bad. My bad.
In fairness, Jugulus does not have the best of bulk. It will probably get 2
Yeah.
KO'd by a strong Poltergeist.
I disagree. It's 94 HP, 86 defense. That's
Base
pretty decent,
80 is
actually.
94 HP. That's not bad.
It's not bad.
Actually,
It
shockingly
feels
solid.
less bulky.
Yeah, because, well, I think also too, every single time that people have been running it in this league, they don't really run bulky Jugulus. Just putting that out there.
It's like a worse Galar Moltres.
I disagree. I think it's better.
I
I
think it's
honestly think
better.
it's strictly better
Oh.
just because it has coverage.
Unfortunately, I
That's
have to agree with that one.
It has coverage, it has speed. The only thing that it doesn't have that Galar Moltres does is an actual ability. Because
True.
Quark Drive, for all intents and purposes, just isn't real. Unless you're running booster energy, which then it's like, oh cool, I have a telegraphed item every single week. That's the only issue that's the only thing I don't really like about Jugulus, is like it's super telegraphed. And you're gonna see it later. I just want to bring this up, but there is so many fast teams. I think we have 2 teams that their average speed is 91. So it's like,
Yeah.
even then, Jugulus is not gonna be the fastest thing, because they also have Paradox Mons. Or one of them has Paradox Mons, one of them has Prio Tailwind.
That's
But it's
fine.
yeah, it's just one of
'Cause
those
they
things
have
where it's
Dragon
like,
Bolt.
we're gonna have to conceptualize that this draft is super fast, and there isn't like a ton of super comprehensive, super strong slow mode teams. But I think like this team is fine on a slow mode. Like, it's fine. It's what I want to say is, look at the average stats. These are crazy. 100
Yeah,
average attack,
honestly.
94
Very
average special
offensive.
attack. It's like super offensive, but it's also got decent defensive averages too. So it's like, it's not bad. I genuinely, when I did my, just for context for the viewers, when I did my vibes based, I had this team as number 1. I've kind of changed on that now over time, but this team is so good. It's got literally everything it needs to perform and compete. The issue is just going to be, can you navigate it?
Because this team,
Yeah.
it checks all of the beats, but the matter is, it doesn't have the greatest handling. You have to be pretty good to like properly use everything on the.
I don't even think like you need to be like super good, but you need to be super focused on the board state, and you have to think about what your opponent has in the back at all times.
Mhm.
Because like, if you're unlike with when nobody had Dragapult Florges, if they just target down Electabuzz after you set up a Dragon Dance, your Dragapult is super out in the open.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, Dragapult doesn't have to be running Dragon Dance every week like it did in certain seasons. Not going to talk about that. It's got a super large move pool that's full of depth. He hit every kind of type core that I think, because I think you kind of need Fire, Water, Grass, Dragon, Steel, Fairy. Like, you need it. It's just, as people get better and better with Terra, the type chart matters more and more and more.
I like how at the
Like-
start of the generation, we were like, yeah, there's
Yeah.
Terra now, the type chart just doesn't matter, but the value
Yeah.
of Terra is
Yeah.
just like,
I think
It
it was
matters.
true.
So good.
I think it was true then. With Gen 8, the type chart didn't matter. Like, well, not Gen 8. Season 8, we were at the start of Terra. None of us were really super good at it. Like, the only reason I performed so much better than everyone on a consistent basis was because I had a higher level of Terra knowledge. But now that everyone is kind of at this large knowledge of, like, this is what Terra should be, this is what we should do with Terra, the type chart matters again. It probably did, it mattered back then, but like 1 red, 2 reds, 3 reds, like that didn't matter as much, because it's like, oh, you can Terra into resist, you can do that. But especially when we have S tiers now without Terra, type chart matters.
yeah.
But I do think this team has literally everything it needs to succeed.
Yeah, it's got potential Trick Room options. They're not the greatest, but I still think that even, like, I think just some teams aren't going to be able to deal with a Metagross in Trick Room, and I think that's still really valuable. You've got double Intimidate, which is amazing, or even Frisk. Frisk is an amazing ability in Draft from Weird Ear. You've got the redirection support.
Yeah, I was gonna say Sap Sipper, but that's more relevant in Dawn than it is here. Because of Amoonguss being drafted. So, Rat, look out for that.
Yeah. I mean, there's also 2 Ogre Ponds,
Yeah, true.
which
Yeah.
Intimidate
Did
helps,
they-
but Sapphire could help as well.
Was the
well,
multi-ogre drafted?
well, not okay. So so for Dusk, the bad Ogre Ponds. Well, one bad Ogre Pond, one good Ogre Pond was drafted. Because we have
Ogre Pond clause.
no. I was gonna think of the specific ones we have. We have Cornerstone and Peel. So about 50% of the time, you can run Intimidate against them. Just also because, like, if you run Intimidate against that team, you're getting fucking walled. It's because of how good that team is. But that's for later. They're on in this division. I will say I don't have any huge overlying issues with this team, but I do think it's just gonna be. It's one of those teams where, like, you look at it, it's really good, but it's very, very good. One of the best teams in the division, if not the entire league. Like, it's that strong.
Yeah. Something else I just noticed as well. I do like how most of the physical attackers on this team are immune to Intimidate or have the option to go special. Things like, Dragapult, Clear Body, Orca goes special, Metagross, Clear Body, Mienshao, Intimidate, Inner Focus goes. Arcanine can go special, Weird can go special. That sort of thing.
Yeah.
I really like that.
And even like your weirder things. Pun sort of intended, like Weird Ear. If you want to run like a super physical variant of it that's running Intimidate, Frisk, Sap Sipper, all of that, you can always slap on Clear Amulet. Like, Clear Amulet is so good. And while this team doesn't need to do it, it's definitely something they can consider. One thing I want to talk about, Munchlax is, for an E tier, I think Munchlax is probably the best in the game right now. I don't think this is the team for it. I think if you're taking an E tier, you kind of have to take Munchlax, though. You have to take Munchlax, Nose Pass, like kind of that caliber of Mon that you just slap an Eviolite on and it's kind of hard to kill and can sort of steal end games. But yeah, I mean, having another Ghost immunity is super sick on this team. Because one thing with this team too, there's potentially a lot of immunities that you have. Oh yeah, also Arcanine. You could say, oh, I'm gonna Hydro Pump this Arcanine, switch in Lapras, and you're doing 0 damage. I think Lapras looks better on this team than I think it would look on any other team, just because it has some utility into taking water hits, because, water types hit hard. So being able to take water type attacks and wall out most water types in our format, drafted, like, that's super good. Obviously, it has some tough matchups, but, like, I think this team generally has. Oh, I choked a little bit. It's like
Nothing new.
Matchups.
Damn. Sorry, Ken. I'm so sorry.
I think set himself up for that, but
the reason I only say because you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I'm so sorry.
Gen 9 has not been the story of the Canner Clutch. That was pre-Gen 9. We're in the Canner Choke era. Ooh.
You won the first season of Gen 9.
Yeah, I did. But that's because no one else besides you knew that he used Tarot, right?
But yeah, I think this team's really solid. I think it just, like we've said, it hits all the check marks. It might be a bit difficult to pilot it sometimes because it's got a lot of good mons that can be used in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And as you say, a lot of immunities as well, which is kind of cool. I will say as well, probably like I've looked through both this division and the other division, the Dawn division, and this is like the only team I've ever seen a green on Ghost. Like,
yeah.
Hey. Oh no, I was gonna be like, hey, I have a green on Ghost. I think I have a neutral.
I'd say I'm pretty sure you have a neutral. Yeah, this is the only one I've seen a green on Ghost.
Yeah, green on Ghost, and 2 of them are immunities. Like, that's crazy.
You love to see it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, this is the team with the Ghost type S tier. There's one other one, of course, but like, Yeah. So where are we rating this team? We've got S. I'm gonna delete D tier. I don't know why I kept that. We never do D tier. All right. So we have S, A, B, and C. What we feeling?
So is this
Honestly,
relative to the other teams in the league or just in general?
It's just Dusk. It's just Dusk. Like we can move stuff down as we go along, but
I'd be comfortable putting it in as.
Yeah.
It's a really
Yeah.
good team.
It's
Yeah.
got a lot of offensive and defensive options. So much versatility. Every
Well,
piece feels solid.
well, I don't know a ton of defensive options besides like double intimidate.
Well, the immunities things.
Yeah, immunities.
And
Like
Typing wise
got
and
enough.
ability wise.
I will
You
say
also
though,
have follow
the
me
issue with
static.
this team is every single red that it has is a super relevant type.
Yeah.
I argued with myself about what I consider fair relevant type, and now that I'm thinking about it, yes. So every single red is a relevant type. That's the type of stuff that you hate to see. That's why I think I'm a little bit lower on this team than I was initially looking at its type chart. It's because like ground is on like every physical mon, rock is on like every physical mon, fairy. I think every team has a good fairy. I actually have no idea. I'm sure they don't. Who am I kidding? I'm giving them too much credit.
I suppose it depends on what you define a good fairy as.
Yeah. Well, I guess we can move on to the next team because I think we're all in agreement that this is S, right?
Yeah, I'd say it's
Yep.
S.
By the way, we're
Good
not.
job on Eris.
I know sometimes we do the split. We're not doing the split for this. The even split.
Yeah, no worries.
It's like last season. These teams don't deserve the even split. They don't deserve it. I'm just being an asshole. I'm just being an ass, but I don't care. All right, next up,
Okay.
we have the Brad Roberts.
God, I hate this name.
They have Goldango, Illumise, Dusclops, Hydrabble, Plowitzer, Electrode, Crabominable, Regidrago, Halifin, Hoxacroak, and Tinkating. Winda, you tried. I'm going to give you your flowers. You tried. You tried to help this team out. You tried. I'm giving you your flowers. This team is terrible. I hate it.
So I was in the. I helped out as best as I could with this team. I gave some input. Originally this had a perish trap mode, and I was like, listen, if you want to continue focusing on the perish trap mode, go for it. But in my opinion, you can either focus more on Goldango or focus more on Paladin. Who do you like more? They said Goldango. I'm like, all right, pick up Regidrago and Illumise, and you're good to go.
Yeah. Yeah, and all I gotta say is, but if you close your eyes. But if you close
It
your
almost
eyes.
feels like nothing's
You
changed
must-
at all.
Yeah, 3 seasons of Goldango Regidrago. Is it good? You guys think it's good? You guys think
I think it's
Goldango
pretty good.
Regidrago is good?
See,
I don't know.
Nah,
pretty
it's
good.
mid.
I don't know. I'm not really sold on it yet. Let's talk about the speed tiers though, because holy hell,
Oh, please don't make me look at the speed tiers anymore.
there is one Pokemon at
There's
base 100 or above. I'm sorry, Electrode is not real. Why is it here? Winda, you helped with this team. Why is Electrode here? Genuinely, I don't understand.
For speed control.
Oh, I guess it has
very
Electro.
fast
Does it have?
electro web.
I say it does have Electro Web.
Yeah,
Like
it's in fact the fastest Pokemon that gets it.
that's not true.
Regieleki does not exist.
There's no such thing as the
I mean, you have a point. Without Terra, Regieleki just does not exist.
Literally doesn't exist in the draft.
I love clicking Terra Ground in front of Regieleki and it being unable to touch me.
I love getting hyper by Regieleki
Yeah.
because I clicked
Hyper
Terra
Beam
Ground and it
Regieleki.
can't do
Yeah.
anything else.
Hyper Beam Regieleki, it's the new wave. Not this season,
The
but
new
next
wave.
season. I'll show
I
you.
want to
all.
point
I'm-
out that it was something Sword and Shield. I just want to make that clear. That was an actual thing people did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're in Hyper Beam because you would
Yeah.
Yeah.
because you could go Dynamax and you would get Speed Drop.
Yep.
Sometimes I miss Dynamax. Sometimes
I
don't.
I do because
Um,
oh my goodness, some of the competitive formats with Dynamax were so fun. Some of them. And then you had restricted formats, and I was like, no.
Yeah.
No.
Let's not relive those memories right now.
All right, so we can all agree this team gets hard carried by Illumise, right? Like, it's just not even close.
Yeah.
That
So-
annoying little thing is going to be the bane of some people's existence.
Yeah, I love getting hit by Prankster Encore. Thank God my team doesn't have to worry about that for reasons you will see in a second. By second, I mean probably in like 45 minutes.
Can you just drop this into the C tier, please?
Well, we can talk about it. Come on.
So weak
We
to
could.
so many good typing.
So, remember how I said, oh yeah, every weakness was to a relevant type on the other team?
Yeah.
We have
That
5
twofold.
reds. Yeah, we have 5 reds, and they're all to relevant mons. All to relevant types.
Why relevant?
Also, by the way, this does not finish the cores. It doesn't have a fire type. The team doesn't have a fire type.
It also doesn't have an actual fairy type.
True. You got me.
Yeah.
Look,
doesn't-
type on the type chart. It says it has them. It does not
Yeah,
have them.
yeah,
Tinkatink
okay.
is never
Type chart
being
lies.
brought.
Okay, and if you guys want my honest opinion, as the person who used Golden Go last season, it doesn't have a real steel
It's
type
not.
either. It doesn't have a real steel type either. Like I with priority, it's better, but it doesn't have a real steel type. Golden Go's not a real steel type. No.
I mean, its one move is steel type.
It has a very strong steel type move that just kills everything. But no. By the way, this team doesn't have redirection at all.
Yeah.
You know, a team with Goldengo needs redirection. Not because, oh, you have to do the nasty plot set all the time. Well, it means you can't diversify your Goldengo sets. So you know what's coming. Yeah, that's literally all I can muster up to say about this team.
The only
Yeah.
positive thing I can say about this team, and I wish it did have a redirection, is if it did, or just a more consistent way to set up Trick Room, I think its Trick Room mode would actually be really good.
Okay, so I think like the Trick Room mode is the best mode on the team. Like you have to play Trick Room every single week, which makes Goldengo very awkward
And
to be on this
Palafin.
team. Palafin at least has his priority moves, so Palafin you can
Yeah.
justify by running like Terra Water, Choice Band, Jet Punch. Like you just kill things anyways. But I will say, Reggie Drago, my beloved, get down from there. Get down from there, Reggie Drago. You're not him anymore. I'm sorry. These people are not going to take getting swept by Reggie Drago again. It's just not happening.
Well, half of the people didn't.
You're right. Half the people got swept by a Rhydon. You're right.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
You're right.
I meant more so that you have more new members, but
Yeah. And all the good players aren't in this division. I'm shooting some. I'm,
Yeah,
I'm
with
starting some
the people
drama.
who got
I'm starting drama. I'm on my heel arc, to put it in wrestling terms.
the people that you mollywopped with Reggie Drago are on the other side of the division.
Except for nobody. Who I didn't even whop with Reggie Drago. I whopped him with Rhydon. Folks, Rhydon Reggie Drago. It's the real wave for draft. That's the real new wave.
Honestly.
I mean,
But yeah,
hey, at
you
least
wanna
this
put
team
this
has
in
wide
C?
guard. At least it has wide guard and Snarl. Oh, it doesn't have Snarl. I was
true.
looking at. I was like
Oh.
coping. I was like, yeah, it has wide guard. It has. Because I was thinking wide guard to stop Snarl, but now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, it's so bad. So bad. Yeah.
There's 2 fake out users. Neither of them are good.
Well, Toxicroak's okay.
Toxicroak's okay.
It's okay.
Does
Like,
crooks
it's,
exist sometimes?
like
I
I
love
don't
that
want to
it's-
say it's bad. Because it does have poison
I
touch,
love
which
that
does
it's-
help speed games up, but this team doesn't need help speeding games up, so it feels kind of useless here.
I'm a big fan of the fact that on the document, Toxicroak takes 11/4 of the damage.
No,
Yeah.
it takes
From
1
fire?
1/4. It's 1 1/4.
It
That's
does
one
say
of-
11 out of 4.
It looks like 11 out of 4.
Yeah,
That makes it so much funnier.
Yeah, I don't really understand. All right, well, next up, we have another team that Winda put his grubby little hands on.
Yeah.
Kind
Ooh.
of. The
And this
Flower
one's better.
Mound Finion. Yeah, it's better. We have Ogre
Are
Pond
you the reason
Cornerstone,
Porork is here?
Bronzong. We have Ogre Pond Cornerstone, Bronzong, Rabombi, Zornwar Kasui, Cloister, Vikavolt, Avalug, Gouging Fire, Percadile, Palmot, and Stone Journer.
So, my initial thought
By the way, five.
is
Type check. 5. All the crucial types.
5. And my first initial thought is like, what is it? What is their plan? What do they want to?
It's probably just like Gouging Fire, Ogre Pond Cornerstone, and just like start sweeping things, or like go Tailwind, send in Cornerstone, Gouging Fire, or you can just go to Cornerstone, Gouging Fire because they're naturally fast enough. Start clicking Howl with Gouging Fire and Spiky Shield. But I'm sorry, but Gouging Fire is not hard to play around. I will say I like the physical defense and I like the physical offense averages, but there's also there's 3 Mons that have 130 or above, like 135 or above. 2 of them have 180 or above. So it's kind of skewed, like very, very skewed.
I didn't realize that Cloister had 50 more defense points than Stone Journer.
Yeah. It's less bulky though.
Damn, that thing's HP is a hindrance.
Yeah. Also, it's 45 special defense.
Oh gosh.
It's got 45 special defense. That's, yeah, no.
This
okay.
team,
I don't
outside
think
of 2 Pokemon, loses to any special attacker.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen a special defense total, like average, as low as 68.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Because the other one's 81, 88. Like, this is lower than our previous lowest that we've looked at so far by 13. Winda, I want your thoughts because I don't know how to feel about this.
Okay, so I suggested Ogre Pond Cornerstone Gouging Fire. I also suggested Bronzong. I suggested Avalug because they wanted Abominable. And I suggested, I think, Crocodile.
So you're the one I have to have a stern talking to about Crocodile.
So, yeah. I wasn't the biggest fan of Stone Journer joining the team. I'm not super big on Cloister. I think it's okay, but there's not really redirection to support. Oh, no, wait, no. I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah.
I say this Cornerstone. No, Cloister's fine. It just sucks that there's 2 ice types, and that really helps dampen the type chart because ice has 50 million weaknesses.
Yeah, I will say though too, the issue with Cloister on this team is like it needs to be next to Ogre Pond to get going because it has to Shell Smash to do damage because 95 just doesn't cut it into these teams.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
But I think that as an option, especially from a D tier, like not every team has found a good D tier, and I think this is a D tier that can work.
Yeah.
I'm just not a big fan of Stone Journer.
So I
don't really like Hisuian in Arcanine here.
Oh yeah, Hisuian's Zoroark. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like.
I get it.
Yeah. You go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say I get it because of the the immense fighting weakness, and at least it also gives the illusion, especially against some of this like really scary mons like Ogre Pond Cornerstone. Maybe you can bluff Gouging Fire, but yeah, I'm just not super big on it.
Yeah, I just don't think it bluffs enough valuable Pokemon because it being the one super relevant special attacker at its speed tier means you always know, even if it clicks just a general coverage move, that's Zoroark. You always know. And plus, it's like Ogerpon Cornerstone, you never want to fake out into it anyways. Like, there's no bluff. Like, normally you would use this to bluff like a fake out mon on your lead, or bluff like a super powerful sweeper. This team doesn't really have either that wants to get hit by stuff. Also, Palmot's here. Burn in hell.
I was going to say,
rodent.
I know you do not like Palmot.
I'm
It's.
shocked it's
Fake
this.
out.
I will say it's fine here. I think Palmot's fine with gouging fire.
Yeah, it's their only fake out.
It's fine. Yeah, I mean it's good fake out speed tier. 105.
Yeah.
I think it's the second fastest fake out drafted in Dusk, behind Mienshao.
Yeah.
Because none of the good fake outs got drafted, like the good, like, you know, offensive ones like Sneasler, stuff like that. Okay, this team.
Third fastest.
Third fastest.
Yeah, Infernape is 108.
Ooh. Eat your heart out, Palmont. Eat your heart out. Bless your soul.
Palm and Palmot L.
Bless your soul.
Palmot L.
Palmont.
Palmot.
Yeah. I mean, I think
Palmont.
I will say I think Revival Blessing with this team goes crazy though. There's a lot of mons
I
that are like
forgot it had that.
pretty nice to Revival Blessing into. Sort of.
Yeah.
Oh, I just realized your big one that you would like. Oh yeah, I want to resist to not take fighting hits is Crocodile. It has Intimidate. Are you gonna run Moxie to bluff it? 'Cause otherwise, it's automatically telegraphed. Yeah,
Yeah,
the more
like,
I
as
think
soon as
about
I
it,
get-
every single possible Hisuian Zoroark thing is telegraphed.
Not great.
Besides Rabombi. But even then, like, its speed tier telegraphs that it's not Rabombi.
like,
Yeah,
do you
I don't know
wanna-
about this?
do you bluff Bronzong and Trick Room, and then even then, it's obvious when it moves faster than anything else?
Yeah. I think similar to Eris's team, but obviously it's worse. Like, straight up, we can all agree on that. But I think
Yeah.
similarly
Yeah.
to that team, this is a team that is actually really difficult to pilot because of Hisuian Zoroark, which Zoroark and Hisuian Zoroark are just some of the hardest mons to pilot in draft. Like, that's just how it is. Like, they are just notoriously very difficult to pilot because they require such a different skill set than every other Pokemon in the game.
I like to say I use it pretty well.
Yeah, you did use it well, but like, that's that favorite Pokemon diff. Like, that's
Real
like
though.
that's like
Real.
me going up to Rat and me using Leavanny to great success, and Rat like not really using it to super big depth. Even though it's like obviously not as drastic of an example because Leavanny's much more linear.
Sure.
But yeah, I think this team's fine. Oh, another great example. It's like asking Winda to use Ogerpon Cornerstone Volcarona and asking Rat to do it. It's going to be two drastically different things. One of them won
Ignore that
championships.
Rat is
Yeah,
a
yeah.
bad example every time.
One of them made championships. One of them's going to go
Literally shaking and
3-4.
crying right now.
One of them's going to go 3-4, and that's you, Rat. You're going to go 3-4. You use
Yeah, and I
that.
have to use the Wishcash profile picture again.
Someone again, please.
We'll actually
Oh,
edit it
must
so it has
barely make
2
playoffs.
whisk caches. It has a whisk cache on top of a whisk cache.
That's
You're
horrible, but I
double
approve of
Whiscash.
it. Right, I'm approving
Oh.
that.
Just because it's funny.
The one thing, the one more thing I do want to add, this team has a Trick Room mode, and it's just bad.
Yeah,
it has
Peak
one
Default-
real Trick Room abuser.
Well, it has 2 if you set up Bronzong.
That's true, I guess.
And like Avlog's slower than like all other Trick Room Pokemon. So it like the team's Trick Room mode has viability, and it has viability based on the fact that basically every other team doesn't have a super good Trick Room mode.
Yeah.
But the teams that
As
don't
a
have a Trick
But I
Room
don't like
mode
it.
Like the teams that don't have a trick room mode just have a super wide like defensive pool, so you're gonna be able to last 5 turns in trick room. I don't know. Where are we thinking about this? 'Cause I think the more I look at it, I'm leaning towards B.
I was
I
gonna
was thinking
say
like,
high B, low A.
Yeah.
oh, I was not giving it that much credit.
Well,
Yeah, I
well
was gonna say
remember,
low B.
I might be biased. I might be a little biased because
I
I
was
think
gonna say
it's-
low B.
so I think it's anywhere from low A to low B. It's, well, technically I would say it's anywhere from high A to low C if we talk about how it's piloted. But obviously we're not here to talk about how a team's piloted.
Yeah,
Like
this is
the actual
unbiased
pilot
towards the coach.
themselves. Yeah. But this is our first former UBL champion that we've got to talk about.
True.
Back in season 2, so a long time ago. But
it's like 3.5
It's been so
years
long.
ago.
yep, still a champion though. Still got to give the
Back in the
flowers.
time.
Still got to give them their flowers for being a champ. All right, next up.
Their flowers mount.
Yeah,
Sure.
next up. This one's gonna hurt me the most. I just want you guys to know. You guys are gonna have to like give me a pat on the
There's
back and say
So
it's
many
gonna be.
dogs here.
It's-
There's
it's-
so many dogs here.
You guys are gonna have to pat me on the back and say it's gonna be okay, buddy.
It's gonna
We'll
be
get through
okay,
this.
kind of. Is
Next
Nah,
up.
this is almost physically incapable
no.
of flying. It's
Ne-
not gonna be
next-
alright. I'm sorry.
No, this is
next
not
up-
going to be okay.
Yeah, next up we have the Inglorious Indeedies. Incineroar, Iron Leaves, Milotic, Zapdos Galar, Pachirisu, Dashbun, Stantler, Cornatus Therian, Garchomp, Earthworm, Braixen,
Is it a Toxpun?
Yes.
Dash.
Doc
Dash is gut. Dash is gut, even though that's not how it's Das.
I kind of want to learn German just to find out how incorrect that was.
It's
It's-
Dach. It's Dach.
It's Doc.
Dachsmoon.
Yeah, Dachsman.
Dachsboon.
No.
No,
No.
yeah, just not even that. I know enough about German. I'm just messing with you. That's just Dachsman.
well,
Okay.
at least it only has one red.
That's true. It only has one red. It just has way too much neutral.
Wait, why is that red? What?
Boring.
Because it
Two.
increases to resistance.
No, it's got 2. Oh, 3. Yeah, I'm just.
Yeah.
What?
Then torn
I was
breaks.
like, yeah,
Look,
it's
if it-
2 and 2. How is it? I
realistically,
forgot about
Braixen
Big
doesn't
Dog.
exist here.
Forgot about
Yeah.
Big dog, big cheese, big slice,
Don't
big
worry.
slice.
I actually had the same reaction while going through the dock earlier.
I'm
I
twirling.
could
I'm
not
twirling my
figure out
hair
why
right
there
now.
was a rock weakness.
Yeah, I'm twirling my hair right now, looking at Ensign. Hey, buddy, you come here often? You come here often, Ensign? I love
Evidently
it so
not.
much.
'Cause this is the first time it was drafted.
I actually think this is the first time it's been drafted since season 2.
Yeah.
I'm fairly confident that's correct.
Yeah.
No
it-
way.
Maybe season 5 through 7 it was drafted.
It was drafted in season 7.
It's definitely
Okay.
the first time it was drafted.
First time in Gen
Um,
9.
Season 9 started.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also
definitely-
the second season with Incineroar.
Yeah.
So,
It's like
There's
the
a
third,
few
isn't it?
things I actually do like about this. I'm a big silly fan, and I think Garchomp Earthworm is a very silly duo.
I wish I could
On
have
the
the
other
same.
hand, I think I like Garchomp Torn. I think that's actually like
Garchomp
a
really-
Torn is
so-
good.
So I wish I had the
version
same
back.
I wish I had the same optimism as you guys. But seeing this get drafted in real time and hear him talking to me, I'm like, yeah, you need to grab offense. Your team kind of struggles with immediate offense. And then him just not, like, the only other offensive mon he picks up in the draft is Iron Leaves. And then after the draft is Zapdos Galar. Like, my brother in Christ, I was never running Intimidated into this team anyways.
Yeah.
Like, why do we need a
there's-
Defiant and a competitive mon? Like, you're not going to get Snarled. You're not going to get Intimidated because you're always going to be running Clear Amulet Garchomp.
realistically, you run Marvel scale, right?
With this team, yeah, you kind of have to run Marvel scale. Also,
Yeah.
Pachirisu is a really bad redirector on this team. Like,
Oh, this team
us four, we have talked about it
doesn't
actually
really-
pretty extensively. Like, Pachirisu is at its best when there's a frail Pokemon that's weak to electric types to deal with that. The closest thing you have to
Yeah.
a frail electric type is Zapdos Galar. Well, no, it's actually... never mind, it's Tornadus Therian. But, like, this thing isn't frail to electric types. If you build it right. I mean, I think it could be if you want it to be. But
You
it
want it to be
shouldn't
frail, you can. But
yeah, it
no.
really shouldn't be. It's a regenerator Pokemon. If you're running frail Tornadus, that's on you. Also, there's no wide guard, by the way.
Yeah.
But I can't be too critical of that because I don't have wide guard either. But I think with this team, wide guard isn't necessary though, right? Just like
Yeah.
I think
like-
this team wants to play the bulky offense, but forgot about the offense part.
yeah, this is like
I forgot about the bulk too. Look at the base.
86,
Yeah,
80,
let's go.
88, 86 isn't bad. Remember, there's mons that have like super low defensive averages. Like Breakson makes this a lot worse. Stantler makes it worse just because it doesn't take into account Eviolite.
Speaking of Breakson, what's its job here?
I think
Why is it on the team?
I think it's just here because it was in E tier.
It was better
Look pretty.
to have chosen.
Yeah, Nose Pass is still available, by the way. Has the same
True.
weakness spread, just not rock.
I'm running Fear Aeron.
Like I guess.
Run me up.
Well, I guess your ice then becomes red. But ice isn't a real type in this division, so who cares?
That's actually true.
Actually, never mind. There's one good ice type in this division.
I'm about to say that. I noticed at least one good ice type drafted. in this division.
It has two big paws.
We're not thinking
I
of the
forgot
same
about
ice
that
type. We're not thinking of the same
forgot
ice
about
type.
I'm like, yeah, Probable was pretty good. Oh,
Yeah, there is actually a
So-
pretty decent ice type draft.
So, okay.
Um,
I talked about this in my draft course video, which you should watch if you haven't. I mean, it's kind of irrelevant now that the draft is over, but I have some good things to say in there. Incineroar is at its best with good stuffs. This is just stuffs. I think
that
like
is the best word
so
you have used to describe this team. This
Yeah.
team is stuff.
yeah, like there's good mons, there's good pieces. It can win games. I expect it to win many games. But it's so fine. Like I don't want to say this on the video because it's mean, but I kind of have to because I haven't said it to Winda, and it's so true. Oh, God, I guess I have to say it. Gig is very good at drafting mid teams, like teams that aren't bad. But it's like, how do you fix it? Because like it's fine. This
Right,
team is
like-
fine. He's really good at drafting fine teams. Like he's very, very close to being able to draft good teams. That's what I
Like-
want. Gig, I'm looking at you. That's what I want you to take about this. Don't take it as me saying you're bad at drafting. Because I was bad at drafting until like 2 seasons ago. Well, 3? Was it 3? Depends on how much you value the Hisui and Gudra team. Which did end up being like top tier in that season for the actual PRs, but it really was not fun to use. Just because I click the shelter button and then you click haze, or I will say I really don't want to see Milotic ever again on his team. I have to face this team week 1. I haven't put a single word down. So I'm like, I needed to worry about PRs first. But if Milotic burns me.
It's going to. It's going to.
No.
If Milotic
Tanner, not
burns
if,
me
it's when.
again. Okay,
It's
when Milotic
when.
burns me again, I am going to sit and turn on the Guts Berserk theme. And I'm just gonna cry. I'm just gonna sit and cry.
You're gonna
'Cause it's
wish you
gonna-
had guts.
True that.
True. I was like,
True.
is that a death joke?
No, that wasn't even. I didn't even think of that. See, this is
was
why we
only
keep you
thinking-
around.
I was only thinking that is because when I played Gig last season and we played, and I was like, I'm bringing Guts Hariyama because I'm not getting burned and losing this thing.
Yeah.
Not last season, 2 seasons ago now. Jeez, time flies. But yeah, no, it's solid. It has decent mons. There's no crazy synergy outside of Garchomp and some immunities. There's like not bringing Intimidate against it, which I suppose frees up Garchomp's item because you really don't want to try and bring Intimidate against it. But I
Bring
feel like
Baby
any
Doll
team,
is GG easy.
I feel like bringing decently bulky mons, take a hit, and then kind of fire back seems like it could work really well against this team. Incineroar's got a lot of work to do, and Incineroar can sometimes do it, but
Not good.
I will
it's gonna
say
need some,
on this team, Incin has super bad 4-move slot syndrome, especially when 2 of the moves are always the same. It's always fake out parting shot. Whether or not you run knockoff flare blitz, whatever. Other than that, it doesn't matter, because like you're not running AV Incin on this team. Like you could, I guess, and then just run U-turn flare blitz knockoff, but like, why?
That kind of threatens Incineroar's like purpose on the team. Because you need Incin to be alive.
Also, we haven't talked about this, but the Trick Room mode on this team is literally, it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
Your only Trick Room on is Orthworm, Incin, and I was telling him during the draft, you can't conceptualize Incin as a Trick Room mon. And here it is. It's the slowest Pokemon on his team. And sure, this has 89. Like, this is a fast team, though. This has got 89 average speed. But it's still going to get folded like laundry in the Tailwind matchup.
But also, none of the offensive threats can, like... We've seen so many better, like, speed tiers when it came to these more frail offensive mons.
Yeah.
So, even in Tailwind, he's still going to get outsped.
Yeah, so, okay. I think it's better than... I like it better than the Golden Go team. Just because I think this one is...
Yeah.
Unlike... Honestly, every team besides the Golden Go team that we've seen, it's not hard to pilot. Like, you have to give Gig credit for that. It's not, like, super intensive on decision-making in battle. It is during prep. It'll be kind of intense on what you want to do. I have this at, like, bottom of B. I can't see it going any higher. Maybe... You know what? I'm going to put it in C for right now. Just because it's so hard. I was going to say
either high C or low B.
Yeah.
We
have 4 teams left. I want to kind of see what the rest look like before I commit to being like, yeah, this is a B tier team. Because for now, I would say it's closer to the Brad Roberts than it is to the Flower Mound Finions.
Fair.
All right, well, continuing the trend of me wanting to bash my head into a wall, you got the Sydney Scissors.
My bad.
Whimsicott, Cresselia, Rotom Heat, Cobalion. Furret.
I think you should put on a helmet for the couple of teams now.
Non-fan for Cat Spectrier, Aldea Aquatorus, Regirock, and Copium Supreme, didn't I?
Okay, I'll support the Dene till the day I die.
I know you will. I know you're an idiot.
Then.
Well, Rat, that day, it's come. That day's come.
Oh,
it's time to die.
Its only stat above 90 is speed.
That's all you need. It's got... Wait, let me double check before I accidentally lie to you.
Nuzzle.
Yes, it has Nuzzle.
That's all you need. That's all you need in a Pokemon.
Rat, it's 101 speed Nuzzle. The Pokemon you want to Nuzzle are already faster than it. and it's gonna just die.
It's going to die first.
All right.
And I don't know if you noticed, but there's also a better Pokemon on this team for speed control.
Yeah.
I don't know if you
Yeah.
know about it. It's been kind of a thing for about like
Yeah.
4 years now.
Yeah.
His
No,
most thing is
So
Whimsicott.
so there's this mon called Whimsicott. I know it's kind of mid in Gen 8. Like it's Gen 9. It's like kind of mid. It's like what? Oh, Whimsicott, Whimsahoo. But like it's kind of a decent mon. I don't know if you've ever heard of this ability though. It's got an ability called Prankster, and it's got this move called Tailwind. So it gets to set your Tailwind right away. Because they actually changed how speeds work in Generation 8. They made them dynamic. So that means the turn that Prankster Tailwind gets activated, you actually get to go in that speed tier right away instead of actually having to wait the turn and effectively getting less turns of Tailwind.
Yeah, and it makes Tailwind a lot better.
Yeah.
Also, it has another move. I don't know if you heard of this. It's called Encore. Pretty good. Good move.
Yeah, I don't know if
Yeah,
it's got this move called Encore. Yeah, it's got this move called Encore. Yeah, it's got this move called Encore. Yeah, it's got this
True,
move
it
called
does.
Encore. Yeah, it's got this move called Encore.
Oh god, he's Encore
Oh,
locked.
shut
Someone
up.
get out of here.
Shut
I don't know
up.
who Encore him, but he's locked.
Whimsicott locked me. I will say, it's gonna sound bad, but you guys are gonna have to hear me out. Encore
Oh,
Whimsicott.
Trick Room Whimsicott, bro.
No. Encore Whimsicott is the win condition for this team.
On God, though.
You know,
Like,
funnily
real shit.
enough, I think I said that to Air a bit ago.
Yeah, this Encore Whimsicott is the reason this team can function.
Okay. Once again, wait, do we talk about Gig? Yeah, we did talk about Gigs. How he has
Yeah.
one net weakness, and it's a red. This one's back. We're back to 3. So we had
much
a
more
low
than-
number. We went up, and then we went down, and then we're back up to high numbers of that. How many of them are crucial? I don't. Water. It's a niche type. I've never heard of it. Ground. Never heard of it. Ground 2. Ghost. What's that? But I will say, he does have a lot of green.
It does have a
I
lot
will
of
give him that. It's a lot of green. But like, who cares about if you have 6 bug resists? When your only mon that's weak to bug is just gonna click Terra Fairy every week.
Alright. So I have one comment on that, and it's I don't think that Air was thinking of the bug type existed.
I was just about to
Yeah.
say the same thing in all
Yeah,
honesty.
this,
The
bug
bug
is
this
the only
line
thing-
just does not
I
exist
just-
in his
yeah.
brain.
Yeah, no, okay, so here's why I picked bug. Because it's an irrelevant type. That's the only reason I picked it. But like, we look at ground. We have 4 ground weaknesses. 2 immunities, which is nice, I guess. And one resist, but your resist is Whimsicott. Oh boy, I'm gonna resist those ground type attacks with my 85 defense on my 60 HP. Like, ooh.
Ouchie. Took 50% from a resisted hit.
Yeah, ouch. That Garchomp just killed me almost with Earthquake.
While it was spread damage.
I've been very vocal to Air since day 1 that I think his team's bad. I don't think it's good. Because I don't like these teams. I don't like this fellow. I think what you should have done, instead of wasting... What was Regirock? Was that a B or was it an A? It's a B,
I
right?
think it's an A. It's a B.
It
It's
is
a
a
B.
B, right? Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say, if this is an
Deals
A, as if I was gonna say this is an A, you drop this, you drop Cobalion, you roll compress into Terrakion. Which I don't know why we don't have Terrakion
Real.
anyways. I don't like, why do we need Cresselia? We have 2 Trick Room mods. Why do we need it?
I don't like Cresselia as a Trickmon. I think it's so fake in draft.
I disagree with that. I think
As-
Cresselia's
As this
incredible, but
Trickermon,
it's... Well, for this team, yeah.
yeah, I think I should have specified. I think it's fake on this team.
Well, yeah, it's fake on this team. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, the only other means for it is having Lunar Blessing to boost up HP of your mons. But what are you boosting up? Cobalion, Regirock. Like,
Don fan baby, let's go!
Yeah, you love to see it.
That's true.
Spam Earthquake with
Yeah.
Donphan, baby! Terror Ground! Woo!
Exactly.
That's what we're talking about, baby! That's what it's all about!
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh.
can't wait to have to run Clear Amulet Dawnfan every single week so I don't just get super freely Intimidate cycled. Because remember, folks, there is not one mon on this team that punishes good Intimidate cycling. Not a single mon.
Cineroar beats this team, and that's crazy.
And I'm not saying that you always need to draft like Defiant, you always need to draft competitive. Like your thing to deter them from like pivoting is nasty plot Spectrator. Like that's your only setup mon.
I don't know. Clear body Regirock.
Oh yeah.
True.
I forgot. Yeah, just let me click Iron Defense.
Yeah.
Haze isn't real.
Haze doesn't exist.
Oh, that's one thing I forgot to put on the chart. We get rid of Feint. Feint isn't a real move. Does this?
Faint
this
doesn't exist, right?
Okay, yeah, it has a haze. Oh,
Oh, true. Spectrier, my favorite Haze Pokemon. It's
All right,
definitely
I'm
going to
okay,
live
okay,
that turn.
okay. When you have Spectrier. I will say this about Spectrier. This is not gonna ever want to run haze unless you're running like specifically like the bulky Spectrier set. But Winda, enlighten us, because
Okay, so I think Spectre is an amazing modern draft, and when we get to Dawn, I drafted it, so, you know, spoilers, I suppose. Spectre, on this team, not a great offensive Pokemon, doesn't have great support for it. Its support options here, Snarl, Will-O-Wisp, and Haze, and Taunt, great. Great support
And Follow
Pokemon.
Me.
no, that Spectrier provides.
God.
Yeah, I think Spectre is honestly like a really underrated support Pokemon just because of its speed and its utility. And if it does just randomly get a KO with Shadow Ball, it can kind of snowball and just suddenly become the offensive Pokemon.
Now that it can Terra, it's so much more viable.
My issue with like support Spectre though, especially on this team, like you get rid of Cobalion, and it, like, because you're never bringing Paldea, Aquatoros, and Cobalion just because they conflict way too much. Like, ooh, I guess if you need to kill a fairy, you bring both. That's, sorry, I'm coping. You never bring both. If you need to fight a fairy, you always just bring Cobalion. But like in end games, Spectrier cannot beat a Pokemon that just clicks Terra Normal if it's running the support set. Like the only way that it has to beat it is by Will-O-Wisp stalling, and it's just not a mon that's super adept at that. It could. I will say, I think Bulky Spectre is better on this team than I think it would be on most other teams, just because Cresselia has the option to bring its HP back. So you could potentially go and run Diet, Calyrex Shadow, just run Shadow Ball, Nasty Plot, Draining Kiss Protect, Terra Fairy Draining Kiss, and just do that. I think that's probably Spectrier's best set with this team.
Yeah,
just because it doesn't require a ton.
It is notable that if you do say, oh, well, just save your Terra Normal for the end, and I'm looking at the two fighting types that are going to nuke that, and it's like, maybe don't just put all your eggs in one basket.
Oh yeah. No, I'm just saying, like, if it's an end game with Spectrier, you just Terra Normal and you wall it.
Yeah, well,
just tunneling in on that. Like it's got two. Not if it's running the Draining Kiss set. You get swept by Draining Kiss.
Yeah.
But Terra Normal, you take it at least a little bit better. But I will say on this team, like Terra Poison, Terra Steel, well not Steel, but like Terra Poison is like super free into this team. Like if I need something to resist fighting, I just run Terra Poison because it's like, ooh, their only Stabmon is Donphan that can hit me. Cresselia doesn't run psychic moves, so I'm not considering Cresselia. But it's like, oh, it's only Donphan, and yeah, let's take a look at that Trick Room mode. I love when my Trick Room 50 with 85. Like, why did we grab Mons that are like Donphan that feel like dedicated Trick Room Pokemon? Like, I think having Mons that can function in Trick Room are good. I don't know. Now that I'm saying it out loud, I think that's a terrible point. But I think Donphan and Regirock conflict a lot on this team, just because it's like your end game in Trick Room, and like even the team that you're bringing into Trick Room is both water weak, so you have to Terra, and they're both like not the most specially bulky out of the bunch. When it comes to that, like Regirock is going to be the one that you probably Terra into a water resist, just because you get more value out of it. Just don't get burned though, because then your entire Trick Room mode just loses if Cresselia not there, or if they taunt the Cresselia. This team loses, gets like 30 0'd by Hisui and Zoroark. That's all I'm gonna say.
I like parts of it, you know.
Yeah, I like pieces. I like Spectrier for it a lot. Most of the time.
Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
however, where's
combo
your
I like.
wide guard? It's like, where's your wide guard? Spectrier's biggest counter is Snarl, and we're not running anything for Snarl. That feels so bad. Like, you have to be always running Spectrier Whimsicott lead, which just, that's fine, but it feels bad if they can call you on it. Because that's it's a lead that can threaten offense, but it's also a super passive lead that, like, if I'm facing that, I'm just like, okay, I can just set up myself if they set up, and then just play defensively with a setup Pokemon. I just think this team doesn't do super well into teams that play defensively. With obviously with some exceptions like Spectrier, but other than that, I guess Cobalions may be decent. Like, it's in theory better Virizion because it has a real type, but at the same time, it's like, is it real enough? If that makes sense. Also, there's no dragon type, so DFS, your fantasy
not a real
core.
fairy either.
That's true.
Ooh, that is true.
Yeah, true.
That is true.
I was gonna say, so I personally, like, kind of will disagree with me, whatever. I personally don't think you need a dragon. I think dragon's kind of a type at times.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair
But
justification.
like, fairy and steel are way too important. So like,
yeah,
not having a real fairy that sucks.
Yeah, I think in this division you need a dragon type. That's kind of my evaluation. Like, not necessarily in Dusk, but like in this division you need a dragon type because there's a lot of bulky Pokemon that's gonna get checked by what dragon types provide, just because of like Dragon Dance and like super free setup and stuff like that. Because yeah, I think also you have to have teams that are like super good at like punishing setup or just playing along with their setup. And this team is like fine at playing along with setup, but at the same time, it's not. I'm gonna say it. This is gonna be controversial. Why is Rotom Heat here? What does it do here? Is it just a Will-O-Wisp Pokemon? Oh wait, we have two.
Do what Rotoms do on every team, be generally pretty good.
Yeah. I think Rotom is generally like very good. I think Rotom Heat is just not good this generation, just because Overheat isn't as good. When you can Terra into a defensive type and take like 0, and then you're automatically at -2.
I'm just trying to wonder if like
also
Rotom Wash
weaknesses
been better.
To water types. Well, Wash is an A tier.
Wash is an A tier.
But
it's Mo
I will
and
say,
Heat that are in...
I will say, Mo would be better on this team because it gives you a real grass type. Because say what you will about dragons, fire, water, grass, the god core of Pokemon is still relevant here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Like,
then they don't have a real fire type.
Yeah.
So-
Also, they should not have drafted Torracat. Torracat, like, on paper, I was looking at it and I'm like, oh my goodness, this thing, now that Ensign gets knockoff and everything, this thing's gonna be crazy. Like, cheap, like, diet Ensign, like, arguably seed.
Like,
yeah, but then I looked at it, doesn't get knocked off. Sorry, my brother came in. So yeah, it doesn't get knockoff. It doesn't get... What's the other move it doesn't get? Oh yeah, Snarl. Doesn't get Snarl.
Its only use here is Fake Out. That's it, because
Fake
Intimidate
Out.
is already kept another Pokemon.
Yeah, Fake Out Will-O-Wisp. It's
Those
running
are
that
already
every
kept
single
by
week.
other Pokemon that are better.
Well, by running Will-O-Wisp on Torracat, it lets you be more free with your Spectrier and Rotom Heat sets. It lets
Do
you
you
run
want
better
to be?
sets. Yes. Yes. On this team, yes. 100 times yes.
What is
Especially
Rotom Heat
Rotom
gonna
Heat. Nasty Plot, Thunderbolt, Overheat Protect.
This way you're not forced to,
Yeah.
burn stall someone.
Well, and that way you overheating into a resist feels a lot better.
Yeah.
Because you have another
enough.
move to hit into that resist. And you're at -1. Well, you're at -0 instead of at -2. You're at +/-
Yeah.
0.
Yeah.
We talked a lot about this team. Holy crap, I did not expect that. I think it's a B tier team. I think it's worse than the Flower Mound Finneons.
I agree.
But
I
I think it's
agree.
better.
Yeah,
I think it's
I'm
better
down with
than Gig. I think it's better than Gig, for sure, though.
Yeah.
Just because it has diversity, kind of.
We support
Has speed
diversity.
and an actual
Yeah.
trick mode.
Wee wee.
Wait a minute.
New coach alert.
Am I the
New
diversity
coach alert.
Stuff?
New coach alert, folks.
Yeah.
Virus. Ogerpon, Infernape, Sandy Shocks, Wheezing Galar, Espion, Protony, Fortress, Latios, Talonflame, Bad Paldea Tauros, Infineon.
Best team in the league has got Espion.
Real.
Alright, we can move on.
You know what?
We can move on. So
So you have a bunch of the beats take, except for no, because you have Defiant on Ogerpon. You have pretty much every beat take. It's not great.
I'm gonna be honest, I love Espion. Why is Espion here? It's a lot of ass.
I wish I could tell you.
I love Espion. But there's a reason why I've never drafted it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One thing immediately I noticed looking at the side chart here. No Wide Guard or Snarl, so no way to deter special offense besides setting up Calm Minds and Light Screens. Like, that's the only way that you deter that. And this team does not super like special offense. But, I mean, hey, look we have another team with an average of 91 base speed.
Good.
And hey, we actually see the first red that's of a type that isn't super relevant, an ice type.
Yeah.
Get that. Flying's super relevant though. I don't like that there's 3
One
flying
flying
weaknesses. There's 3 flying weaknesses. Cottony doesn't exist. Like, legitimately,
That's
why is
real.
it here? Why is it here? Pranks are Encore?
Did they remember that it doesn't get Tailwind?
Probably not.
I don't know.
But at the same time, I don't know why you would ever run it. You have Talonflame.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a utility mod, and this team already has a lot of utility, like, in it. Like, I don't know. Also, like, there's a lot of mons on this team that kind of don't synergize super well with Wheezing, I feel like. Or at least the
Yeah.
neutralizing gas.
Yeah.
Like, you can reset Intimidate on...
I think the neutralizing gas is like kind of an issue for this team, but at the same time, it's like mons like Infernape, Sandy Shocks. Like, there are mons on here that you can feel pretty comfortable with, and I mean, at the same time, you can always run Ability Shield on a mon to keep its ability, so it's not the end of the world.
There's that, and you can. I do still kind of like Photosynthesis booster energy mons with Wheezing, so you don't
Well-
guarantee that you use it when you have a bad matchup on a lead.
Oh, okay, that's what you mean. I thought you were talking about like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
booster
yeah.
energy under wheezing, and I was gonna have to be like,
Yeah,
No.
I didn't
can't-
want to be the one
I
to break
can't-
the
yeah.
bad news
No,
to you.
I know they fixed
Yeah.
that. It's just I like
Yeah,
the
'cause I-
ability to save the booster energy.
oh yeah, because
Should
they
the bat-
fixed.
Should the
Oh, yeah,
start
they
of the
fixed
match
that
be bad?
for they fixed that for Peoria when we went.
Yeah.
So I remember testing wheezing into Peoria, and then they're like, "Yeah, it doesn't work," and I'm like, ah.
Oh, I
I'm
just
free.
saw that speed gap. Oh no.
"Yeah, yeah, what? You don't like 34 points of speed being separate?"
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Let's be realistic. That's 40.
Yeah. But I
It's-
will say,
Because one of
I
those
will
ones
s-
is a Prankster
so-
Mon, and one of them's a Finion.
So yeah, here's the thing: this team is always being run fast because they literally don't have a trick room setter.
Yeah.
Espeon's not real. Espeon's not a real trick room setter. It's like an offensive Pokemon, so you're never running. it the same
Sorry,
trick room.
Window.
Winda knows.
okay.
Otherwise, it would be on
I was
Winda's
gonna say-
team.
I would
Yeah.
use this Espion more if it was a good Pokemon.
It's not.
Uh,
Okay. I'm gonna defend it a little bit. It's not a bad Pokemon. It's not a good Pokemon either. It's very mid. Like
Especially
Fun-
it's not terrible.
it has magic bounce. Switch it in on Instant. Instant goes bye bye. Well, your guy go
True.
bye bye. You get
And
It's a-
then
it's
you
a-
get
it's-
Darkest Lariated.
The best thing it's got going
Um,
for it in VGC is screens.
Yeah.
Screens, and it can magic bounce taunt away.
So it's a like you
It
can.
has fast
guarantee
fake out
screen.
and redirection.
Yeah, I like
this-
that. I like Ogerpon Infernape. I think that's a really solid.
I like that
Oh,
combo a lot.
So I won't lie.
I
That's
like
actually
that
what he
as
got
well.
for Peoria, funny.
I won't lie. I won't lie. Speed tiers are nice. Also, he didn't bring it to Peoria.
Yeah.
Because Infernape wasn't legal for Peoria, you bungle.
It was.
No, it was not. Oh no, it was. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. I was thinking of like,
I would
oh yeah,
know.
it's
He
one of
brought
those.
it.
Yeah, I was like, no, you're lying. And I was like, no. Empoleon was legal for Peoria. Not that I faced
Yeah,
a single
they did
Empoleon.
the,
'Cause
Gen
Empoleon was
4
bad.
event.
Yeah,
4.
yeah, they did, and all of them were bad.
Yeah.
Their fire, water, grass is their water is Finion.
They don't have a water
It's okay.
type. They do not have a water type.
It's okay. It's okay. They don't have a water type, but with their water type, their opponent effectively doesn't have a water type either, so it's okay.
That is true. Unfortunately, it gets hit by a stray rock and die.
It gets hit by a stray anything. If it
Yeah.
breathes the wrong way, it's dying.
It just gets
No.
if
So-
it gets hit by a stray, it
Okay.
dies.
Okay, so this is actually the funny thing.
It's look-
Finion
gone.
is better than Luminion because it can run
I
EV
agree.
Light and not
I agree.
have to like. There's no Urshifu. Like if there was Urshifu, I could justify this. I could justify Finion.
Yeah.
But there isn't Urshifu.
Just you
so
wait.
I can't. Yeah,
Just
Paul,
you
I
Volume.
need
wait
to go-
until that Surging Strikes Aqua Tauros comes in.
Hang on, let me check something because I think it
Right.
was Gambit that ran Luminion into me.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, you ran Terrifire Luminion to counter bundle.
Yeah, and it didn't work.
Oh, well, that's because. Well, here's the thing. That's because Winda drafted good mons with it.
Yeah, it's true.
And I'm
But
just gonna say
it
our
kind of worked.
bundle. I'm just gonna say our bundle team this season has a much worse matchup into Luminion Terrifier.
That's
Just gonna
true.
say it.
That is
Just
that is
saying.
real. That's true.
Yeah.
Just gonna say it.
Yeah.
I think this
So,
team's
basically-
really good though. Like I
I
was
really like the
initially
top of this team.
so I was initially really low on this team. I was like, yeah, this is like 5. It's like 5 or 6. It's like I was like, whatever. It's like not where it should. It's like pretty low. Now that I think about it, I think this is an A tier team. Like it's better than Lyrics. The more like I look at
Yeah.
it, like what it actually does and what it actually has on the page, like if this league had a ton of teams that threatened Trick Room access at all points, I would feel like this is much worse of a team. But like the league doesn't have to.
Yeah,
We have
one of
very
the
few
big points-
teams that want to function on an axis of Trick Room. And this team almost always wins the Speed Wars because of Talonflame. You always run but the issue is you always have to run Terra Ghost Talonflame. So
Or
issue
like
you have to run Talonflame.
Overcloak.
well, here's the thing. Talonflame's like actually good on this team. Like Talonflame's actually really good on this team.
Yeah.
I just don't like Talonflame as a Pokemon, I'll be honest.
I
It's
Is
not
get
that
the-
that.
VGC trauma?
It's
Or
not-
do you just not like Talonflame?
It's not the same
Bit
as
of
it used
both.
to be. It's not the same as
Bit
it
of
used to
both.
be.
Bit of I played VGC 16 and Talonflame was on like at least half
Yeah,
the teams,
no,
and
it's okay.
and
I have that trauma with Incineroar. It's fine.
and bit of I try using Talonflame and every time I hate myself.
You know who
Oh.
I have that trauma with? Iron Hands.
Brian Hand.
Ryan Hands.
Just because
Not
both
legal for
events-
this league.
Yeah.
True, it's banned.
Yeah, good. Because
Um,
Iron Hands like walls every single one of these teams. Like every team we've looked at, Iron Hands kind of walls it. Thank God it's gone. Otherwise, I
Yeah.
would have taken that round one. Like
absolutely.
Oh,
if it
same.
got back to me, no, Iron Hands immediate pick one. I don't care if I'm losing an A tier. It's Iron Hands. I'm good.
If
So
I
with-
was to, I think A tier is fine. If I was to like nitpick out two big things, it lacks a real water type and a real grass type. But honestly, no, you have Ogerpon. It
I
just
think
really
you have
lacks a
Ogerpon.
real water type.
Oh wait, I know why Espeon's here. Super fast Imprison Trick Room. That's why it's here.
That's true.
Oh, yeah. That's a thing you can do.
I forgot it got imprisoned.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's very good, but you know.
Yeah, I think
It's
the
an
thing
option.
is as well. This is like a surprisingly easy fix. It feels like.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so I
just
know
drop-
for a fact there's like not many good steals in D, but I don't know. Is Copper Raja still on the board?
Nope.
No.
I have it.
Yeah. Right.
We'll-
yeah.
we'll-
Yeah.
yeah.
But there's still like
Copper
some
Raja
decent
hater.
ones.
That's Copper.
Yeah.
There's still some decent
Definitely.
steals in C that you might be able to get, and there's some decent water types in C. Like, there's easy fixes for this. Like, and it can become even better. And we all think it's still a really solid team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know we
I'm
talked
definitely okay
about
with A.
Yeah, so I know we talked about Weezing being like not a great Pokemon on this team, but I think it's like while it's not like a great Pokemon into this team, I think it's a great Pokemon into the league because there are so many teams that are like super reliant on their abilities, and that doesn't change with our last two teams. So it's like
Big
one of
agree.
those where it's like it feels good if you're bringing it in, like trading your abilities to stop some like Paradox Pokemon abilities to shut down your opponent from getting Intimidate into your team. Like that feels good. I mean, obviously you have Ogerpon to deter it, but like not having
Yeah.
to always have to rely on like, oh, I have to lead Ogerpon because they're gonna lead their Trick Room Pokemon feels nice. It definitely feels nice.
And just the threat of neutralizing gas is enough to make people wary. You don't have to bring it every time.
Yeah, Weezing is one of those Pokemon. Like it's kind of like Bandozo Tatsugiri in some ways. Like there are so many counters to it in draft, even when it has Terra. But you have to dedicate like all of your resources to like what if it comes. I think Weezing kind of fills a very similar niche to that. It's like it's like what if Weezing comes? It's like, well, I have to be prepared always for the what if Weezing comes. Also, Weezing provides an alternative method to intimidate cycling with Tauros Paldea. I think my other nitpick for this team is like it doesn't have a real intimidate Pokemon. I think, but like at the same time, just like last season and this season, there are a lot of teams that just don't have a real intimidator. Like, am I going to sit here and argue that Tauros Paldea is like leagues worse than something like Crocodile? No. Winda might, but me, no. I think Crocodile's bad.
Personally,
That's-
I'm just gonna crit my Tauros.
True, yeah. Drop Espeon for Frostlass, or drop a D tier for Frostlass.
No, I'm gonna teach Finneon Frost Breath.
I've just been through. I think I've seen that like at least 6 out of 8 teams have good Intimidate.
Does Eris have a good Intimidate? Yeah, he has Arcanine.
Yeah.
There's no Intimidate on Brad Roberts. Crocodile, I think, is mid Intimidator, but
I think
it's
it's
good
good.
enough.
Cineroar. There's
Cineroar's a
really
good
two
one.
real Intimidators.
Taurus, Paldea, Aqua.
Tauros is a super real Intimidator. Well, I can say for sure that Tauros, Paldea, and Crocodile are the worst Tailwind setter, the worst Intimidators, but I mean, like, they're usable as well, so, yeah.
You prefer Torracat?
I forgot Torracat existed.
Yeah, I was gonna
See?
say.
Well, when we get to the next team, there's an Intimidator on there that is much less good.
That's true.
But yeah, I think we're in agreement. A.
Yeah.
I'm okay with A.
Yeah.
I like A. There's
Next
some
up.
things to fix, but outside of that, it's still a really solid team.
Yeah.
Next
Certainly.
up, we have the man who is first to lose in finals, Lord Nobody, and the Salty Swamperts, with Iron Bundle,
feels so
Iron
bad.
Valiant, Snorlax, Noivern, Scrafty, Oricorio, Luxray, Sinistra, Volcarona, Berserker, and Krapin.
So I want to say, in
Trap, it's just-
season 9, I drafted 3 of these ones. I drafted Bundle, Noivern, Volcarona.
God, I love Noivern. S tier for Noivern.
So I'm going to say this immediately, because I have like 2 main issues with this team. Also,
Very
for
frail.
reference, I know kind of asked us all to do homework and make sure we had things noted and prepped. I didn't do any of that, but I stared at this team and I stared at it and I was like, I really don't like a few things about it. Number 1, I don't really like Sinistra on this team. I get it's good for Snorlax, but that feels like the only mon it's good with. And number 2, I really don't like having double Paradox here, because I think both of the Paradox Pokemon in Bundle and Valiant want the booster energy, and forcing one of them not to have it really hurts.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, folks, here's what it is. Both Bundle and Iron Valiant want booster speed. Iron Valiant has also been called, what if Bundle was better? Because you can just run what Bundle does without having to draft an Iron Bundle.
Yeah.
So why do we have Noivern? Volcarona with this team is completely fine, because you can Icy Wind your opponent's Tailwind setter, and they're slower than Volcarona anyways, or they're slower than Oricorio. Like, we didn't need Noivern. It feels like it's overkill for a mon that doesn't really do much damage.
Okay, in fairness, I don't consider Oricorio a real mon, and relying on Volcarona for Tailwind sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah,
when I drafted those 3 of Bundle, Noivern, Volcarona. I specifically drafted Noivern to have a backup, to have a Tailwind setter so Volcarona doesn't have to Tailwind. Because Volcarona wants to do a lot of other things.
It's just one of these teams where it's like, the Trick Room mode is what you're going to want to run into a lot of the teams in this league. So it's like, why do we have Bundle and Valiant? Besides them just being like decently good mons.
I
Noivern,
mean, Booster Bundle still outspeeds like a lot of Pokemon under Tailwind.
Yeah, that's why also like I don't really care about Noivern on this team. Or Tailwind, because it's like you're faster than most Pokemon under Tailwind. Like, what speed tier do you have to be? You have to be hitting 154 before Tailwind to guaranteed outspeed.
So it's like just under base 90, I think.
Whatever Kyogre's speed tier is, it's like 1 point lower than that.
But yeah, so base 90, so it's base 89. It's like
like base 88, base 89, which
Yeah.
I guess that means like Noivern's worth it. But also like this team's worst matchups are into like super fat teams, but it's also into the teams that have priority tailwind because I'm just gonna say it. This team does not have a fun time going into Infernate on
Yeah.
leads. Well, I guess Infernate doesn't have like Ice Punch, which I just remembered that. Like it can't kill Noivern.
Does it not get Ice Punch anymore?
It never had Ice Punch.
It
It's
never
a
had
fire type. So it never has Ice
Fairly
Punch.
confident that it's correct. It's not once had access to Ice Punch.
Wow.
Yeah, it's because
didn't
it's a
know that.
fire type.
All right. Explain Typhlosion.
Does it have Ice Punch? In Gen 2,
Yes,
right?
it gets all of them.
Oh, that's because of Gen 2.
That supposed to just felt better.
Yeah.
Gen 1 and 2 don't count for move distribution. They gave every mon everything.
Sure.
Like Gyarados has Flamethrower.
Blizzard Tauros.
Surf Tauros. There's
True.
so many.
Thunderbolt Tauros.
Explosion Gengar. It's
True.
a ghost. How does a
Every
ghost
elemental
explode?
punch on
Elemental
Gengar.
Punch is Gengar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Punches on Wooper.
My goat.
Anyways, back to this team. Winda, at first you were like, yeah, this team is intimidate worse than Torracat. And I was like, there's no way. What are you talking about? And I looked and I'm like, it's Scrafty here. And then I looked again and I'm like,
Oh.
I have zero. I don't like Luxray.
What did
So-
they do here?
so I'll play a little bit of defense for Luxray. It's very bad,
Okay.
but
Oh, great
But-
defense.
yeah.
Great start to the
Yeah.
defense.
Yeah,
Best
but-
defense, and best defense is a good offense.
Rat, if your defense is like that when you become an attorney, I'm I'm all for it. Let's go.
But,
Yeah,
okay.
I would love to be
Okay.
the prosecuting attorney in that situation. Let's go.
Okay, hold on. Let me actually defend it now. I did have it in the one season where I was the only person to take a game off of Winda. Back in that was RDL season 1. The only
RDL?
season of it, yeah. When I
Where
was the
the team I
only
dra-
person. I was the
Yeah,
only
where the
person to
team I
take a
opted-
game off of Winda,
Yeah.
and I like. And Luxray was a pretty big part of that, funnily enough.
Yeah, even though, God, looking back at that team, I feel so cringe. Oh, that team, like,
It was like
everyone was like,
Metamorph.
oh, he's... No, it was literally like, oh yeah, this team's broken, this team's amazing. I look back at that team and I go, that team was so mid.
Well, you
that
have
team
to.
was so mid.
Well, Winda, you have to remember. We have to contextualize the
Yeah,
draft
they were
itself.
bad.
The draft teams are just not good. But, like, there are so many seasons where I'm like, I look back and I'm like, oh, that team's so bad for me. Like when I'm in B tier, and then I look at the rest of the teams and I'm like, never mind. That's fine. That's fine. Like even the Hisui and Gudra one, I went back, watched the PRs, and I'm like, oh, this team's so bad. And then I looked at it and I'm like, no, it's fine. This is like actually fine. Like whatever. Just because the whole that also applies with this season, by the way. There are a lot of teams
Yeah.
where I'm like, oh, this is so bad, and then I look at the rest of it and I'm like, never mind, they're fine. They're fine. Like in my ideal eyes of what I would consider like super strong for Reg F draft on an 8-person board, like I would consider Pyrus's team bad because it's an 8-person board. But like it's fine in this league. Like it's really good in this league. Conceptualizing, folks.
Well, speaking
team,
of bad
I-
teams,
I-
back to
I
the
won't-
matter at
yeah.
hand.
Yeah, I won't lie. I won't lie. I just don't want to talk about this team.
Yo, Trapinch, best Trick Room Pokemon in the league.
I actually agree
Base
with that.
10,
I am.
underspeeds everything.
Hold on. You're joking, but like, I actually do
It's
have a
actually
soft
not.
spot. I actually do have a soft spot for Trapinch because my first ever draft league win was with a Trapinch Trick Room team.
It's like it's not terrible because nothing is
Granted.
underfeeding it.
Granted, that was back in the Dynamax days. That was pre-UBL even.
It's
And I was
it's-
not playing
It's a very
against-
funny Pokemon.
Yeah, I just wasn't also playing against good people. I was playing against our friend's Gambit. If that
Valid.
rings any bells. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't even that good back then, but yeah. I was the only one that played doubles.
kind of like Trapinch on here just because
So
it gives you an option that doesn't necessarily require setup.
I hate to
Because
say
you
it.
can just sheer
Trick Room
force
team,
bulldoze everything.
I know we want to sit here and just trash on this team because nobody's a good player and we should be expecting higher of him at this point.
Bad.
But this TR mode's kind of spicy. I actually kind of like it.
Yeah.
It's
It
kinda
sucks
sexy.
that like Synergy has to be relied on using TR, but honestly, you're using TR with Snorlax anyway.
Yeah,
Like,
let's also ignore
Trick
that every
Room Iron
single
Valiant.
yeah, let's also ignore that every single piece of the Trick Room mode is physical
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
caps out
Talking about
at
Synergy
110.
special.
What do you mean?
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, pal. You're running offensive Sinistra. He's
Nah,
not
bro.
rad.
Watch me.
Yes,
Heal
you
Watch
are.
me.
Yes,
Berserker.
you are.
He's not rad.
Heal Beam Berserker, bro.
He's not rad. It's not rad. Rat's the only person crazy enough to run setup Sinistra.
In my defense, it worked.
And
Fuck
it did
you.
work. It did work. I'm not even gonna lie. It worked and
Results
it worked
based
well.
bias, baby.
I had no option for it.
That's exactly why I brought it.
Yeah.
We prepped for a Chaladon, and then you just didn't bring it into the game.
We
It's like,
did.
well,
The first one.
It worked out because I forgot to nickname our Chaladon that game. So if it came out, it would have just been a disappointment.
okay, all right. Now let me trash on this team more. Why is Volcarona here? Volcarona, get down from there. I know why. It's because of Oricorio. But I'm sorry, Dancer combo is so bad. It's so bad.
Combo isn't real. Have a
Exactly.
Weezing.
Exactly. Or
Well, in
just touch
in the
Oricorio.
defense, Oricorio, get down from there. What are you doing there? Volcarona's a good
true.
mom.
Oricorio doesn't need to be here either.
I agree. Volcarona's a good mon, but why is it here?
What does it do? Like, all its beats are checked already.
It's to be a fire type, I think. Because why
I
else
guess
is
you
it?
can bring it when you want to bring, like, Ghost Oricorio.
Well, you're always bringing Ghost Oricorio. Always.
So you only got one.
Pom Pom.
Pom Pom's bad.
What if
Look at Gig. I think he lost every single game with Pom Pom.
His only other electric type is Luxray.
You know what? That's
Yeah,
a valid
well,
point.
Luckily, Electric is aggressively mid.
Yeah,
So he
it's not a
kinda-
great
he-
type in the league.
He kind of lucked out. Like, ooh, he's got the one mon that wants to get hit by electric types.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well-
no.
Eisenbunter,
get down from there.
There's, like, Tornadus Therian that has a Pachirisu on it. So
Yeah.
you're probably not clicking electric, but
Clicking rock. And killing
Clicking
Pachirisu at plus
Bye-bye,
one.
Yeah.
Volcarona.
And then rock.
clicking ice.
This team really, like, why are all the good mons weak to Rock Slide? Minus Iron Valiant.
Iron Valiant,
Because truthfully, there's not a lot of good Pokemon on this team. Truthfully.
Scrafty. I like Scrafty. I think it's a good
I don't.
bro.
It's fine.
Coaching Iron Valiant is gonna go crazy.
Okay, I will stick in Gambit's corner for this. I think Scrafty's good.
I think Scrafty is
I-
really good utility wise.
Yeah,
I think
I think
Scrafty-
like,
it uses the
me
single fairy whip.
me and Kathy actually argued that I should ask you guys to move it to B. Like we're
So-
that high on Scrafty.
So
Well, I was
here's,
like, no
here's,
way.
here's when I like Scrafty. When you have an actual steel type.
That's fair.
Berserker is not it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, I think
Berserker
Scrafty is
the steel
fine.
type you get
I
when you
think-
have a good steel type already.
I also think if you're arguing for Scrafty and B, you're crazy. But I mean, it's a good C tier. Like Scrafty, I think
I
is
think
like
it's a really
generally
good
like,
C tier.
as a C tier, it's a good mon. It's one of the best C tiers. Like I don't.
Wait, hold on. You
disrespect
said
that.
Kathy was arguing with. What side of the argument were you on?
Me or Kathy?
You.
I mean, either technically.
Kathy was on move it to B. I was 50-50.
Okay.
I am very, very heavily on keep it down in C. It
I-
or at
I
least
used to support moving it to B, but now
or at
I
least put up
I've
some
seen the way.
results with it. Also because like having Scrafty in the same tier as the Tauroses feels weird.
that's fair.
Yeah,
But
I
at
think
the
it's a
same
bad B
time-
tier and a good C
So-
tier.
At the same time, like B tier is really weird because there's like 4 fucking B tier. And all of them are tailwind setters. Speaking of,
Yeah.
we need to bump some tailwinders from A down to B, just because Jesus Christ, this season was
We'll figure that out.
Yeah,
We'll figure that out for next season.
just
But
because this-
overall,
alright.
this team are like, I think it's B.
B minus.
Yeah.
All right. So our B
What's in
tier
B
right
right
now,
now?
our B tier
It's-
right now is Lyric and Gig. No, Lyric and Air. Where do we put it? So I'm trying to like get like the coach diff out of my mind, but like I want to put it in like top of B because of that, but I don't know.
Lyric, Air, and Gig.
No, not Gig. Gig is in C. Gig is in C.
Oh, okay. Lyric and Air. Which one is Lyric's team?
Flower Mount Finions.
Okay.
Definitely better than Air. I think it's a toss-up.
Yeah.
Which one's better? I would lean towards the Salty Swampers being better.
I agree.
I'm inclined to agree with that.
Okay, now we have the most mid team in the league with the most mid coach. Talking about the choked in choke bowls.
True.
We've got
True, honestly.
80 female Iron Crown, Kilowattrel, Haxorus, Umbreon, Copperaja, Mismagius, Enamorus, Tauros, Paldea, Blaze, Vaporeon, Meganium. This guy sucks.
Bro,
He,
I don't know
do
if you guys know about
this guy doesn't
but,
have this guy doesn't have a red? He sucks.
bro, I don't know if you guys knew this, but Iron Crown, it gets this move called Expanding Force, previously only
Oh.
known by Armor Rouge.
Yeah,
Generation.
by the
That move
by the way,
sucks.
so I just want to let you guys know the sheet is bugging, so it doesn't have Indeedee and follow me. So don't like sit there and be like, oh, this guy's got no
Oh,
redirection.
Yeah, no, Indeed has follow me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's
so-
out
Yeah.
there. Indeedee, get down from there. Get down from fake out
Bro,
into
he
follow
doesn't
me.
even have redirect. This guy sucks.
Yeah. All right. Can
True.
I get something out of the way? So, Canna, I love you, buddy. Love you like a pal. But let me roast your team real quick before we put it in S. Okay. So first of all, Vaporeon, ass one. I've used it. It's ass. Just drop it. It's not worth it. I don't care. It's a bulky water type. It's ass. Drop
Has
it.
it-
It's kind of cruel.
It's so
Nah.
bad.
Winda, did you see
said
the
it
C
just
tier
is-
water types? Did you see the C tier water types? It's Vaporeon or Kingdra.
Tentacruel.
It's Vaporeon or Kingdra. I think I took the better option
Bro,
of the two.
don't disrespect my fucking tentacle jellyfish like this.
There's Crawdont and Golduck.
There's Tentacruel.
Crawdont and Golduck. Why is everyone in the follow me section? Why are we all just sitting there? Why
Yeah,
are we all
friends.
sitting there?
We're
Just
chilling.
Friendship.
Chilling in the follow me section.
that friendship.
We followed you. What do you want from us?
Yeah.
Very true. Second
And
of
you
all,
should subscribe. That's not the
True,
same as
I
follow,
like-
but it's good
I
enough.
like the videos. Yeah. Second of all, I'm not gonna roast you on Meganium. You did what you could with that slot.
My
That's
God.
fine.
I love it.
I also love Meganium. Let's go. So the real big thing here is obviously Indeedee Iron Crown. I think the only reason this team works is because of Indeedee and nothing else. If Indeedee is bad in a matchup, this team becomes so much worse.
Yeah,
I'd win.
Yeah.
you would win. However, that
You
does not
probably
take
would.
away from our argument.
I mean, here's the thing though. Like, kind of my justification with that is like, the bad Indeedee matchups are so few and far between that it feels fine.
The one that comes to my head immediately is Jugulus, and that is it.
Nah. Terra Fairy. I'd win. You guys
True,
don't
just cheat.
Sure,
understand.
bud. Sure, you
You
got
guys-
it.
Yeah. Or just run an Amber's. What's it gonna do? Snarl me? Okay, so
Gonna
you guys are
beat you
talking
to
about
sleep.
Contrary.
you guys are talking about all that. Time to talk about the real biggest issue with this team. It doesn't have a wide guard one. There's no wide
Doesn't
guard.
you
Who-
don't?
That's the biggest issue with the team. Like I've been
What the
very
fuck?
vocal. Like that's my biggest issue with the team. But I mean, it's
Bro,
got
what are you clicking snarl
competitive
with?
contrary.
Haxorus? What?
What?
No, I know you're clicking it with Umbreon.
Nah, Caparajah. With sheer
true?
force, so it doesn't get the special attack drops.
True.
True.
Also, I know you're a huge Copperajah hater, and I really hope it
I am.
turns around this
I
season.
am.
Because
Yeah,
I think Copperajah is a really solid
I
steel type.
won't, Linda, I won't lie. Just having it in the builder, looking at it, and I'm like, oh, it's got 2 weight moves. Oh, I'm gonna hate it, but it looks so good. When I was looking for a
You
steel
need
type, I was like,
some-
I hate this. I was like, I hate
You-
this.
It's
Why
a
is it-
good
why is
mod.
it-
It's a
Why is it
good
good?
elephant.
I was sitting
I'm
there, I'm
also a
like, I
fellow
hate this because
Caparajah
it's
hater.
good.
I love elephants too much to ever hate Caparajah.
Yeah. Rat, I will say, it's so good for a slow steel type though.
So good.
I just wish it was bulkier. That's kind of always been my Caparajah stance. I just wish it was a little bit bulkier. Get rid of that
Yeah,
special
Yeah,
attack.
you can invest
Like,
if
why
you
is it
invest it
frail?
properly. It is. You
Yeah,
just have to
well-
invest it right.
Well, yeah, because so the thing that kind of like changed my perspective on it last season when I faced Eris, and it lived a high horsepower from my ride on. And I was like, well, hold on, maybe this is real. Maybe this is a real mon.
This Pokemon it has a lot of HP. It does exist.
Plus,
Yeah,
it does.
it's one of those ones where you
also-
where you invest its defenses rather than its HP.
Yeah. Also, it does more damage than Landorus Incarnate.
That's funny.
Yeah,
That's pretty funny, actually.
Because it's got a higher base stat. Sheer
yeah,
force.
and then Ironheads do a lot of damage, especially with sheer force and life orb. Play roughs are great.
Yeah. The only issue I have with Caparajah is like it gets intimidate cycled pretty badly, but I mean,
But that's
What
like
do
the
I- what do
only
I
one on
care?
the team that gets intimidate cycled really.
yeah, because
Yeah,
Haxorus is
Caparajah
always
burn.
clear amulet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's no other physical attackers that care about intimidate, like what
I,
Boros, I guess, but I can just switch it out. It's got intimidate. Like I'm never running Rat. I'm sorry to tell you this. I'm sorry to tell you this. I know you love it. I'm not running Cud Shoot ever.
Bad.
So good. Oh
Okay.
god.
Okay,
Bad.
Rat, I will say I agree specifically when it's normal Paldea Tauros, not when it has a secondary type, not when it's Blazer Aqua. Blazer Aqua, it's throwing. But yeah, I also
Right.
like that Umbreon, a very powerful support piece on the team, has inner focus.
do
So like
love
even
Umbreon.
if I'm not running like Psychic Surge, Psychic Train lead, I can kind of deal with that. By the way, I just want to mention this. We were watching transactions, and the whole time I was like, everyone's making their matchup worse into me. What are they
Yeah.
doing? Like, nobody had Thwacky. And I was like, oh, I'm going to actually have to really, really sit and think about terrain wars. Like, that's actually going to be an issue. And then he dropped Thwacky. And I'm like, oh, well, now it's just free. Like, now I just Iron Crown Tachyon Cutter for free. Like, oh, he's gonna wide guard. Yeah, I'll just click Tachyon Cutter. Yeah, thanks for having the most telegraphed wide guard of all time, buddy. Like, that's why I like Iron Crown so much more than Hatterene, just because it has single target moves. And Tachyon Cutter is a hell of a move. Never misses.
God, I wish
Which is good
Hatterene
for
got
me.
Moonblessed.
Rat,
Like,
you and me
I'm
both, buddy.
going-
It wouldn't even be that much better with it.
But I just wish it had it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going back and looking through all of this, and I think they all lose to expanding force, except
like,
for
They like all have
like,
resists,
Eric.
but like me and Winda have talked about this. Like the reasons that we don't like Winda has been very vocal about like the reasons he doesn't like Psychic Terrain, like Sky Spam. Because like you Terra Dark. But like I've even
Forcing Terra Dark.
I think I mentioned this to you even, Winda. I was like, yeah, but you're forcing Terra Dark. Like I've like sat and reconceptualized it a lot since I had to do like the draft cores video. And I'm like, you're drafting Iron Crown on Sky Spam? it's like super, super good. Like it's a skill test not to you, but it skill tests your opponent,
Yeah.
which is crazy. And I love being able to skill test my opponents. Also, I get it. I have 2 flying types. That means I'm gonna get faked out. Also, Winda, by the way, I don't have just 1 bad Tailwind setter. I've got 2 Tailwind setters. So I don't have
That's
to run
true.
Kilowattrel.
You got
I can
2 bad
run-
Tailwind setters.
True.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
No, I mean, you are
I'm
right.
not-
Tailwind and Amorous is a throw set, but like sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Though,
Why
no
does
matter what, with this
When-
team,
Me
this
when I
team-
win semi-finals because of Tailwind and Amorous.
Oh my god.
I did.
Yeah.
That's what
True.
happened.
we don't
I
spill
match
the
it up.
goo. We censor the goo so that I can win with it, and people are like, "Nah, it's cool." I'm gonna be honest, Winda. I don't mean this in any disrespect. I didn't watch that match.
Oh, I forced a forced Tailwind mirror against Murkrow so I could match Tailwind and then O-code Murkrow.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
Oh, I can run Terrafire in Amorous, which then they go Tailwind against nobody. Nobody goes Tailwind, Icy Wind, and then a +1 with Tailwind. That's really funny.
Yeah. Also,
I mean, then
something
I-
worth noting.
then I
Something
died a
very
Hydro
worth
Pump.
noting. Don't do Stellaterra and Amorous.
Oh,
Don't.
Do
Stellar's
it.
cope. Stellar's cope.
Do
But
it.
there's like
Yeah.
super. I think I could make it work with this team. Like this is like a team that could use it, but at the same time, like
I
that
tried
set
it
is just
last season.
that set is just so cope because your opponent has to not have a good steel type, and there's too many teams with good steel types this season. That's like the one thing a lot of the teams hit was like a decent steel type.
Yeah.
And I have 2 of them, 2 good steel types. So checkmate, liberals. I've got
Another
twice
thing
the
I
amount
want
of
to
good
talk
steel
about.
types.
That means you're
Um,
admitting Copperage is a good mon. Let's go.
Let's go!
Yeah, I'll-
It's not good.
You know what? Yeah, I'll
Pause.
admit it. I'll admit it. What? So it's C tier? Copper's is a good C tier Pokemon.
True. One
I
thing I
would
do
say
want to touch upon.
any higher than C, I would say it's a terrible doo-doo fart mon.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't
I
put it in
I
B.
do I do want to touch upon Haxorus. I think this mon is underrated as hell. I think this thing under Tailwind gets up 1 Swords Dance and wins the game.
Well, I would never
I mean,
run
I
Swords
think
Dance.
I think
It's
next to
better to
Indian
run
against
DD.
one Dragon Dance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's better to just go DD next to DD.
DD next to DD. DD.
DD. King DD.
D to the power of 4. Let's go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Well, you've got
really
you
like
got King
Haxorus.
Haxorus and the Queen DD. The DD
Uh,
mode.
Oh my goodness, I can do the funny Winda play rat.
God.
I can go Haxorus Mismagius and click Earthquake.
True.
True.
I hate you.
Terra Ground Haxorus with
With Mold Breaker.
That-
And just
Mismagius.
Earthquake my own
Breaker, let's
Mismagius.
go.
Oh. I didn't even do it with that.
Yeah, you did it with telepathy Mold Breaker.
Telepathy Coco right next to Mold Breaker Excadrill. I remember it
Oh,
like it
fun.
was yesterday.
That's a me play.
I didn't
It was
even
so funny.
think. Oh,
was so- the
that is
only
my
reason-
biggest fail.
Yeah, the only reason it was funny was because it was against a rat. And it's like, that's such a rat play to make.
Yeah, that's my passive ability. Around me, Windows like gameplay abilities just drop significantly.
Yeah. Alright. So, I made a video about my
F
thoughts
tier?
on this team. I made a video about my thoughts. I'm not going to go into my
That
thoughts
you
here.
should all
Watch
watch.
that video.
Yeah, go watch that.
And like it.
And
And
subscribe.
comment.
I do want to sit here and actually gas up
Well, share it to
Meganium a
your
little bit, though.
friends.
Because I think Meganium, ever since Winda said, oh no, get down from there. This season, I think Meganium actually kind of looks heat. By the way, my average team base stat total is 521.
That's true.
The second highest is what, 501? 507,
Oh,
514? 514 looks like. What about Eris? Eris has a high base stat total. Oh, 1 second. Ugh, dang it.
Body.
Because Eris has
Bro,
Eris has 528.
second,
It's crazy.
second in base stat totals, F tier.
True.
528, and they have an NFE.
528. Yeah.
That's insane, actually.
Yeah. I don't have a mon below 475, and they have a mon. It's like
390.
390.
To be fair, it's one of the bigger NFE totals.
Yeah, but they also have 2 pseudo legendaries.
That's true.
Oh well. All right. So where are you guys putting this?
I mean,
No, you don't even have to.
S really?
You don't have
Actually,
to
I'll
ask.
keep.
You're the
I'll
best
keep it.
team in the league.
I'll keep it in new because I'm a new coach, guys. Just like
That's
Winda,
true.
I'm a new coach. You guys have to be nice to me.
You've actually never played this game before, and I'm the one who built your.
Guys, I'm new to this VGC thing. I'm a 3 out of 10 in terms of draft skill level. Be nice
I
to me.
love how annoyed that I got.
Be nice. to
Yeah,
me.
it got me so mad because I was like the day after finals that you beat me, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Okay, so I'm S. I want to ask, above or below?
What?
Eris.
I do think it's close, but I do agree
It's-
above.
Yeah.
It's close though. I think Eris's team is still really
You
good.
have
but...
more team synergy.
All right, so I renamed the S tier to Scanner, S and then Canner, because both of the teams that I helped make are in S tier.
That's funny.
I like that you helped make your own team. You didn't make it.
I only helped. Gambit actually carried me. Gambit was
It's
like,
true. I made this
Common
entire
Gambit
team.
W.
I got him on the
Gambit.
Megane train.
yeah. Every single team that I've ever done well with, Gambit's actually been the one that made it. They're
That's
just
true.
like purposely
Even before I was
throwing.
in the league.
Yeah, they're just purposely throwing their own teams so that everyone's like, oh, what a bad player, and then they're gonna one day take off the training weights and win.
When I
Alright.
win
That one guy from
a
One Piece.
regional.
That one guy from One Piece. Thank you, Rat. That's not One Piece, but
Thank you, Rat. That was not One Piece you're thinking
You-
about.
You always provide such interesting insight. So
That's why we keep you around.
Yes, we love when you're incorrect.
true, and that's my favorite thing in the world.
I genuinely just get anime references wrong on purpose because I find it so funny.
It is.
All right, so to
Yeah.
recap, we have me and Eris in S. I'm saying these in order, just so people know. Pyrus, the lone A tier.
Goat, my goat.
In B
I
tier,
did
we
that. I
have
helped him.
Lord Nobody, Lyric, Air, and then in C tier we have Gig and Brad Roberts. I think I actually want to move Gig up to B, just because I think it feels weird having these two teams next to each other.
It feels weird having 4 B teams.
Yeah,
No matter what happens, it's weird.
Yeah.
I'll be a little bit nice to the Brad Roberts and keep Gig with them. They're gonna be lonely, so Dartrix is gonna be lonely. So there we go. All right, so we did this last season. Rat and Win to know what I'm talking about.
Oh,
Gambit. Gambit was not here for the last
I
season.
did watch the video. Do I
watched
remember
the
what
video,
you're
though.
talking about? No.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So last season we did playoff predictions, which
Uh-huh.
didn't go very well because Wind ended up winning the whole thing.
God damn it, Window. Doing everything.
And we all said Kathy was gonna win the league.
We're close.
and then I changed last minute and said I'm gonna win. So I was the closest. So I win, you guys lose.
That's true. That's how it
True.
works. It's Price is Right rule.
True. All right. So starting with Rat. Out of this, who are your top 4? Who's your winner?
Okay, so first of all, we all know nobody's making it to playoffs again, right? That's just the unspoken rule. That's happening.
Oh.
Next up, I think Eris has a good chance of making it to playoffs. This team is incredible. I really like it. I think he's gonna go far.
Yeah. I agree. We've got 2 more.
The third option, I'm struggling a little bit, but I'm just gonna say Tanner's 100% making it to playoffs. Like, look at this team. Look at his skill level.
Bro said
Gosh.
he's struggling for a pick and then 100% making playoffs.
Yeah. If Tanner doesn't make playoffs, I'm recording myself eating a Hershey's chocolate. What was
Cookies
it?
and cream. Cookies and cream.
Cookies and cream bar, a whole one.
Why is
like
that a punishment?
that's old.
Who
That
said it was
is-
a punishment?
No. That's old. That's old UBL lore. When I recorded a video of me biting into one, I didn't break it apart. I just took it, opened it, and bit into it.
How dare you?
Don't worry, I have never been the same. All right, so Rat, who's the last person that's making playoffs? You've
That's a
got
fantastic
got
question.
Cyrus, Lyric, Air, Gig, and Cam.
I'm leaning between. No, I gotta give it to Gig.
Love him or hate him, he is
I think-
consistent. He is consistent. All
I
right,
think my loading is the source of his power.
And who's winning?
who's winning, Rat?
Yeah, right.
We all know the answer to this. Come on, Kenner. But
Window.
everyone's made their matchup to you. True.
Winda.
True, Winda is actually gonna just RKO me out of nowhere for the championship.
And
Like,
here comes Window with the steel chair. Let's go.
yeah, that's gonna be me. I'm gonna be last turn of the game, and somehow Winda's gonna change. It's just gonna fade into a match with Winda, and I'm just like, what? All right. I'm gonna go last thing, just because I don't want to go first on my
Well,
predictions.
you'd be going
Gambit,
Hi.
you're 4.
So I'm gonna get the obvious out of the way. You and I think you're guaranteed at the very least top 2.
Yeah.
The rest of it is what feels like the toss-up. I think I agree with Rat. I do think Aris has a really good team, a really good shot of making playoffs this year. If they can pilot it well, not right, just well.
Yeah.
I do think that even though the team is of lesser quality, I do think nobody is. It has a solid enough synergy to be a pretty difficult team to navigate around in this league for most other coaches. So I think he has a good shot.
Last slot. Who's it gonna go to?
I have to go with my bias here. I have to put my faith in Pyrus. I know that he's a pretty good Pokemon player, and this team isn't bad at all. It's pretty tough to go around. Weezing is a very, very hard Pokemon to prep for properly, and just the threat of it being there can cause you to ignore something else better.
Yeah, all I'm saying, Gambit, is that the Canner and Associates, we're on top. We're on top this season.
The Canner and Associates company is winning. We got some good.
On top. All right, Winda, my bestie, my arch enemy. Who are your 4? Oh wait, Gambit, who's winning? Who's winning?
You.
Thank you.
Okay. So, the 4 that are going to make playoffs is Canna, for obvious reasons. Lord Nobody, due to their consistency. Gig, due to their consistency. And I'm actually going to go with Pyrus.
Let's go.
I have faith in the team and the pilot, and I think that Canna is going to get second, because Lord Nobody's going to win, and then in the true final, it's going to be me versus Lord Nobody.
Winda, I want you to know, if I make finals versus nobody, I am making you help me. So that doesn't happen. I don't care if you 37-0 me in grands. We're just not doing that. We're not having the most important championship in UBL history ever. The Lord Nobody versus you.
It's
not
canon.
It's not happening.
It's
It
the
has to
script,
happen,
baby.
Tanner.
It's
I
the
will-
script.
I will actually force Rat to play again next season when I go on hiatus, if that happens.
Oh, look, Ken, if you let me go on hiatus this season, I would have had time to finish altering the script, but no, I just had to play it. Look, look what's
like
happening
you're-
now.
It's
You've
okay,
doomed us
I'm in
to
the
another
background.
season.
Yeah, Rat.
I'm
Yeah, Rat. Like
Packerman.
you're the one. Like you're the one who's writing the script. Yeah. Sure, buddy.
That's exactly why Winda keeps winning. I forgot to change it.
Yeah, is that why you keep missing playoffs?
Exactly why.
And
Yeah.
haven't made a single playoffs since Winda's first win?
Damn.
I mean, that's not true.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm talking
that's actually
about
wrong.
in the streak. He hasn't made
Okay,
playoffs
yeah.
since. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
give Rat some credit. He's made playoffs
No.
since season 1 now. Come on.
Yes, he has. Not as much as me, but not many people
Right.
have.
This is my most important season so far. I need
Well-
to make playoffs this season.
well,
For y'all that don't
Gambit.
know, I made a very bad decision, and now I'm forced to use a Whiscash profile picture for the entire active
Yeah.
season.
Yeah, so
Yep.
here's the issue with saying who's gonna win this. I don't want to say myself because it seems super arrogant. But okay, so here's my
Didn't
top
you
4.
just say you're good going on your arrogant arc?
You know what? You're right.
You
I did say
literally
that.
said you're in your
I said
heel
I'm-
arc.
I said I'm going heel. Yeah, so it's gonna be me, and I'm actually gonna be so far ahead of everyone else that they're not even gonna qualify for playoffs.
Fuck yeah.
No, I think it's gonna be me. I think it's gonna be nobody. I don't think he really has the team to 100% make playoffs. It's gonna be like last season, where it is tough. It is literally determined by one game. Like if other teams didn't shake out the way that it was, him versus Gambit would have been the deciding factor. And if Gambit ended up winning that game, he would have missed playoffs. So that's something genuinely to think about. Like, it wasn't even super far off for him missing last season. And I think relative to where he was with his team last season, that team was better in relativity than this team is to the rest of the league. The Chiyu variant, of course, not the I'm going to draft all the same Pokemon every single time. Also, I don't know how much faith I have in his team right now because it's entirely different Pokemon, and we haven't really seen him this generation compete on a high level with a team full of different Pokemon. So I'm very curious to see if
I'm
this is
just
going to be
happy
this
that he is.
season. Yeah,
I really am. Because Lord Nobody's a good player. I want to see him use different stuff and see him succeed with it.
Yeah, so I'm
So I
not
can
gonna
play him
lie.
in the grand finals.
So shut up. I'm not gonna lie. I could honestly see any person, probably besides the Brad Roberts, making playoffs. I would say besides Gig, if Gig wasn't like the luckiest, most consistent player of all time for no reason. So the last two, like, I wasn't thinking about it with you guys. I was like, yeah, it's super obvious. But now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, and I'm like, no, it's really not. It really, really is a toss-up on who's gonna make it. Every single team in this league, while not necessarily on what I would consider the big three, in this case, technically the big two, the big two in Pyrus, all of them have the potential to make playoffs. I'm going to bite the bullet now. I think Pyrus is going to make it. I think their team is just like so... It's, in a lot of ways, it's very similar to mine, how my team is like a skill check into other people's teams. His team is a skill check. So other people are going to have to be very careful that they don't get washed by it. And last, as much as I want to say Gig, I don't necessarily want him to. I would much rather see Eris or Air make it, or even Lyric. I think all three of them are, well, really all four of them are on a caliber of player that it is extremely possible. And I don't necessarily want to write Cam out. I think the team definitely could do it. It's going to be harder, but it's possible. Wow, it's just hard. Yes, if I went kind of with the general consensus, it would be... Actually, it would be either Eris or Gig. They're both tied in terms of... Because Gig has made it twice, Eris has made it twice. So I can't even use you guys as a reference point. I'm going to, just to be different, I'm going to put Air there. I think if potentially he switches his team up a little bit or just plays exceptionally well all season, he makes. But I'm just doing that to be different. I think probably realistically it's going to be Eris, but... and then who's winning? It's me. It's me in the easiest 2 of my life. I'm going 7-0 this season. I am the protagonist of this story, and if you don't like that, why don't you go cry to Dawn Division? Maybe they'll give you a shot. But with me around, no,
Hold up,
you're not getting a
I
shot.
need to edit the script real quickly. Easiest 2-0 of your life. We can monkey's paw that.
Monkey paw.
Monkey's paw curls. Monkey's paw curls. Well, folks.
But yeah,
That was
that's been the Dusk division. We'll be going through the Dawn division in the next video. So stay tuned for that.
To catch it when it drops, just hit that subscribe button right below.
Ring the bell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in that video, we're going to have something that we weren't able to include in this video. Grand Finals predictions. And yes, your predictions for playoffs will have to, like, the person you win has to be automatically moved. You can't change your answer for what you have here. So for Winda, my biggest op, give me nobody. Thanks, Winda.
Hey, it's, I'm just saying.
Can't wait to 2-0 Lord Nobody again. Just like last season. Anyways, that was it for PRs. This was an experience. Thank God we didn't do both of them in one. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Bye.